Right on time today, man. That doesn't happen very often. I'm usually at least a minute or two late. Um, I need to start setting these up ahead of time so you guys can see it before I actually go live. But anyway, getting ready for tomorrow's auction. Tomorrow night, Eastern Standard Time at 8, I'm going to go live and we're going to get some pours out into the community and possibly some other stuff. I did just open up 2 rolls of silver proof quarters. So those will be up for auction. The cool, not all of them, but the cool thing about that is, and I'm gonna post the video later. I made the video before I went live, but ran out of time, so I didn't get a chance to post it. I'm gonna post that. It's pretty cool. I got a bunch of 1960 quarters, proof silver quarters. They're all silver proof quarters. Let me just say that, and all of them were different except for the 1960. I got 11 1960s, and then all the rest of them. Actually, it might have been 12. I think one was a toner, so I had it in a different spot. I had 3 toners. All of them kind of have, not all of them, there's quite a few that have a little bit of toning kind of here and there, like little toning spots, which I don't necessarily like, but it's still a silver proof quarter. But anyway, might have some of those if anybody has any. They were all different too. It's so crazy. So there's lots of full sets where I have all 5 quarters from that year. I'll post the video later. But yeah, if there's any quarters anybody's looking for, let me know. Now, here's what sucks about that. I go through 2 rolls, right? I knew that I was one short because I had a 1970 mixed in there. So let me back up. I went to a coin show and picked up a few things. I saw this guy. I said, "Hey, what you got? That's silver." And he says, "Well, I got these 2 proof quarters." And you know me, I love quarters, and I like proofs. And if I can get proof silver quarters, I'm like, heck yeah. So he tells me a price, and I was like, I don't know. Let me try to think about it. He comes down $200, and I'm like, well, that must be a good deal. No, I got robbed. Not to mention on the price. That's already bad enough, right? But one of them wasn't silver because I noticed on the side 3 of them looked like they were toned, and I wanted to make sure that those 3 were, silver. 2 of them were, but one of them wasn't. So I knew I was one short. I go through and open up the other roll. I'm another 3 short. I'm like, what? It wasn't another 3. I guess that one was from that. But I ended up being 3 short. So I had 77 quarters when I bought 2 rolls. And overpaid for them. Talk about bad luck. It was my fault. For some reason, I think the price he was giving me, I was kind of thinking I was getting like $half price, like 80 $half or something. I don't know what I was thinking. This was 3 years ago, and I'm just now getting into them. They've been sitting in the tubes for 3 years, and finally I broke them out and put them all into, I want to say flips, but that's not it, capsules. So each one is in its own capsule now. That's how I like to do things, especially with proofs. I don't want them getting all scratched up. I mean, none of them are really perfect. I have a 1964, I think it is, that is in perfect condition. That might be a 70. I don't know. Probably a 69. But the rest of them have a little bit going on. Anyway, what's going on, guys? Who we got in here? Cartier, what's going on? Silver Spurs, what's happening? Blue Collar Stacker, what's up? We all take hits. Sorry about the bad luck, yeah. So I'm going to try to put a few up and see if anybody's interested and lose some money. I'm going to have to lose money. There's no way I'm going to get back what I put into it, especially being short 3 of them. I didn't realize it was that bad. But anyway, smash that like button for me if you don't mind. I would appreciate it. Let me show you guys some of the things I have. I got some other stuff too, but I'll show you. Everything's a mess right now. This is what I got for tomorrow. That's number 7. That's number 8. And then I did a couple copper pieces. I tried to have more stuff ready, man, but I kept screwing things up left and right. Pouring ain't easy. Got this little scarab thing. That's pretty cool. That's what that's called, right? A scarab? Scarab tablet, I think, is what we're going to call it, because the other side's a tablet. And I shine this bad boy up, too. Pretty cool. Got a little peace sign there. I made that out of 2 pieces. That was a copper round that was a blank. And I glued one of those gibbets. Gibbets? Is that what somebody told me yesterday? A gibbet? The little thing that you put into Crocs. And I cut the little thing that holds it off and then glued it to this, I think it's a 1 ounce copper blank. Anyway, we got another one of the gavels. This handle's a little bit longer than I have been doing, so it doesn't stand up. But this piece is even bigger, and I stamped the whole weight, which is like 2.5, I think, on the round. So, you know, I'm going to auction that off at the end. I'm going to use it throughout the night, and then I'll auction it off at the end like I did a few times before. I got to look and see what number this is. I believe this might be number 3. Plus the prototype, I think I did 4 total. And maybe this is 5. I don't know. I got to look into all that. But, man, got a bunch of copper I could melt down, but I just can't seem to get a hold of it. Copper is not easy. Anyway, I digress. I broke my good tripod, so that sucks. Anyway, I tried to do this the other day and screwed it up. I kind of want to try this again and redeem myself. You guys want to give it a go? I'll pour this in silver. This was my first sand cast I ever tried to do and pulled it off, but then the second and third, terrible. Had to remelt them. Then I did another one, sold that in an auction, and then trying to get to the number 2, but the last one I did the other day, the wing didn't fill out. And I think I know why. So I gotta make it a little bit thicker there. Coining around, what's going on? Kevin Hawthorne, what's up? Appreciate you guys stopping in. Hope everybody's having a good day on this Thursday. Lovely Thursday afternoon in Maryland. It is a little overcast. It actually sprinkled a little bit earlier. I was like, man, I was trying to do some pouring today. I literally just got done cleaning those rifles. The long ones, the skinny ones, man, them things like to bend easy too. They're like a 1/2 ounce. Probably a little bit under 1/2 ounce, actually. Actually, yeah, the one was like 10 grams and the other one was like 17 grams, I believe. Something like that. It's a scarab, dung beetle to be precise. Gotcha. So you think I should call that the scarab tablet? That's a prototype. I've never done that before. I think that's what 3D said would be a good name for it. And I was like, yeah, that does sound good. You gonna pour your heart out? Nice. It's fun, but it's also, some days I get a little discouraged. Like, come on, man, can anything work out today? I get those days. But yeah, I'm not gonna be on a crazy amount of time today because I do want to try to get more stuff done by tomorrow. And I'll post the video in the morning, whatever I end up getting done tonight. If I have some more pieces. I got a couple other pieces downstairs too that I just haven't had up here. So there is that. Man, get a couple of nice days of weather and can't stop blowing my nose every 3 seconds. Sucks. But yeah, I had some gloves on. I had gloves on both hands when I was going through all those quarters. Seven, what's going on? You have an original that you cast from? I tried to use Petra Bond the other day, and good Lord, it's my nemesis. I can't stand it. And I try not to go through too much of this. Like, even with a little bit of the darkness, I still let it mix in there. Herman had some. Do you see what Herman showed last night? His Duff clay almost looked like it was orange. The new stuff he got. I thought he was using Petra Bond because the other one looked so dark. And then he showed the new stuff, and I was like, man, that looks a totally different color. I'm wondering if it's just because he's been using it for a while, and then when you mix in all the little darker pieces, it kind of just makes it darker. I mean, this does look a little darker than it was when I first opened it up. I was telling him last night, if I had $1 for every piece of cat hair I found trying to pour, constantly trying to pour, and finding cat hair in my sand. They swore that they were gonna take care of the hair. There won't be cat hair, we'll clean it up. Mm-hmm. That's the only reason I didn't want cats. I cannot stand hair. Especially like going to a store. If I know I'm getting ready to leave and go to the store and I got cat hair like all over my sweatshirt, I can't do it. Like I gotta either get the cat hair off or put another shirt on. You know, I don't know if I'm gonna roll this stuff like I used to. I tried to roll the stuff I had, the Petra Bond I was using. I rolled and rolled and hammered and rolled, and I still couldn't get it tight enough. When I was trying to do that crab, 7 stacks, the crab that you have, I was trying to do it in copper, and yeah, that didn't work out. I might roll it a little bit because I do want it to be tight. I don't want to be able to push it through too easy. And also, if you don't roll it, sometimes the whole thing will slide when you're trying to get the piece out. If it's something that's really stuck in there, it's not really with this one, actually, now that I'm thinking about it. So here's the difference between flasks. You see how this has this little lip on it? That's the better one because they always fit, they're always tight, they don't move at all. So I like that. But having that lip holds everything in. When I use this one, there's no lip. And when I'm trying to get something out and I bang on it a little bit, the whole thing will just slide down. So that's why I try to pack it really good, especially with this one. But with this one, I really don't need to do all that. Like Herman was saying last night, like he never does that. He just uses his hand to push it down. And I've just always hammered or rolled. So just kind of had it. But I'm going to try today and not do all that. And it will be a lot easier to get the piece in. So that's a good part. I can't believe he's making 100 of them trolls. That's a lot of work. It's awesome that he has the clientele for 100 of those things. I don't know how he was selling them, but why am I jumping the gun here? Man, this glove. Last time when I did this, when I pulled it out, there was a little bit that was getting stuck right here because this glue I put in it, because I wanted to make this thick. The whole thing was like a big cave, right? And I wanted to fill it in to make it a little bit heavier. So I glued it, and then I put a little bit more over here because it was kind of, some of the sand would get pushed up underneath of that, and then it would pull it out, and I'd have to doctor it up. So hopefully this one I don't have to doctor anything up. We'll put a little bit on the back too, and then we're gonna jam it in there. go through the sand on this one, which I don't necessarily like doing because we're going to do it this way, facing you guys. I forgot what I was just saying. Sorry. Let me zoom you in a little bit. Whoa. Like I said, I broke my good tripod. This thing sucks. I feel like it's going to be hard to get that. I need to get this part in there. Let me give that a go real quick. I feel like I'm in such a rush. I wanted to have so much more done, especially with the copper side of things. I wanted to have like 10 copper pours, and I have like 4. Actually, it might be 5 total, but because I got the ones downstairs. Yeah, so this is where we need the detail. I had 2 months to have everything ready, and I've just been struggling, man. ADD has been on fire. Even depression for a while there, and being sober and all that, and trying to find myself again, you know? It's been well over 4 months now since I've had a drink. Not that I was a drunk or anything, but, you know, I would have a couple here and there. I don't know what day it is, but probably 110, somewhere around there. Actually, it's got to be more than that. I don't know. My math ain't mathing. Never does. My math is about as good as my reading. And I'm dyslexic, so that tells you something. I will give this a good press. I like to do this because it always gets around those edges, around the piece. Oh, sounds like, what's the place where you call them up and they come pick up your old clothes and then give it to the less fortunate? I can't remember what, I was going to mention it earlier. It's not the Salvation Army, it's another place. They're supposed to be picking up. We got like 10 boxes outside of old clothes. Now he's going to start going off. Ovi. All right, what's going on? Let me see what you guys are up to in here. Wow, I'm really behind here. Okay. Muscle Shell, what's going on? How you doing? I did receive my package. Okay, you're talking to him. Going around. Okay. It's okay. Okay, that's y'all's conversation. Responding to those lost emails. Gotcha. That happens, I guess. Broke Stacker, what's up? Hope all is well on your side of the world. Uh-oh. Yeah, you gotta be careful shipping. I always, anybody knows, if you get something from me, it is shipped and taped. And I spend hours after an auction trying to get everything ready just to make sure every individual piece is usually wrapped up. Then I wrap that in something. Then I put it into a bubble mailer. I'm gonna have to do something with him. Ovi, come. Come. Good boy. Sit. Sit right here. Sit. Stay. Sit. Good boy. Good boy. Yeah, you know what I do with if I have, like, say I send a quarter out to somebody, right? You can put that in an envelope, and you could just put a stamp on it. But if you put a stamp on it, it's going to go through the machine. Which the way I do it, I feel like I'm safe even putting it through machines. But I always take it in, and it's like $1.50, usually somewhere around there. I'll just have them put a sticker on it. Bean Becky, what's going on? I'm doing a little silver eagle. It's actually kind of a throwback. My first silver sandcast I ever did was this piece. And so this one will be the number 2. We were talking about that with somebody yesterday. They were talking about how the Ovi, come. Oh my God. Ovi, come. Come here. Come. The neighbor's dog's barking. Come here. Sit. Stay. Sorry, guys. What the hell? What was I talking about? No. Hey, no. No. Don't do it. Oh, I only kept my first silver sandcast and my first copper sandcast. And then stay. And then the number 2 of each, silver and copper, I was going to sell. Come here. Stay. I was going to put that in the auction. Possibly. I'm probably going to want too much for it because it's my second pours ever. But actually, Cartier, yeah, the one that you sent me, I think, was a little bit open, but it was there. You sent me 2 chips, right? I think that's all that was in there. It was kind of ripped on the top, but oh, by the way, I've been waiting for you. I've been waiting for you because I don't want to show your address. It was you see, like, that was ripped, but everything else was there, or closed. Anyway, I was waiting for you to stop in so I could open this up. Hey, Cat. Wanted to show you some love. Wanted to show some love to you. Thanks for your support, brother. And then he's got his nice little signature there. And then sent me a couple of these. Nice. Oh, that's a baseball card flip thing. Or not a flip, but you know what I'm saying. Sleeve. Pretty cool. I like it. And anyway, when I do quarters, I try to put everything in a flip. That way it's not loose anyway. And then I'll put the flip into a like a flash card and fold it and then tape it so that it can't move inside. And then I'll tape that to 2 more flash cards, 1 on each side. And then I put that in the envelope. And I tell you, it always gets there. It takes a lot of time to do it. It's always a pain in the butt. But that's why when I have giveaways and somebody didn't buy anything, it takes me like an hour just to ship that stuff out because I'm so meticulous with it. But I wanted to get there, you know, instead of just throwing it into like a bubble mailer with somebody that got something. But you know, anybody can win my giveaways, so it happens. Everything's taped to the hills now. Yeah, just go buy some flashcards. That's all you gotta do. You can get those big flashcards and you can cut them down to the size of an envelope. That's what I do. Those big ones are like, can you even see? They're like this big, and then I'll cut them down to fit an envelope. Those work great. What I used to do is I would take a piece of tape. Just a small piece. I would fold it to where it was a triangle. I would stick that on the corner of a flip, and then I would tape that down. So the whole thing was taped down on 4 sides, but you could move it just a little bit, but it held it in there. I used to do that, but that took way too long. Then I decided to just take one of those small flash cards. I fold it in half, and I cut 2 sides off to make it smaller, about the size of a flip. And that's how I do it. And I've never had, not one time has anybody ever told me that something didn't make it to them. So I take pride in my shipping. That is for sure. And it sounds like Cartier is taking pride in his now too. Everybody starts out somewhere. You never know until something happens and you're like, oh crap. And I'll tell you what happened with me. I had a buddy of mine, and he's a really good friend of mine now, but we really had it out. It was kind of my first feud with YouTube. Well, that's my only feud with YouTube, really. I don't really have any feuds with anybody ever. I pretty much get along with everybody, but he had made some bars for me, some copper bars that had a CC stamped on it. I got 10 of them, and then one piece of silver, and when it got to me, the silver was there luckily, but I think I only had like 4 of the bars or 1 or 2. I can't remember now. It wasn't many. It wasn't 10, I can tell you that much. It was definitely way less than half. But he threw them in like a bubble mailer thing, and it wasn't even a bubble mailer. It was just like one of those regular mailer kind of deals. But he just kind of put everything in there loosely. And man, I was all mad about it, and he was like, it ain't my fault, and just kind of, you know, we had it out a little bit, cussing each other through email. And then one day, like a week later, I reached out and was like, look, man, I'm sorry for you know, any kind of way that I came across. I don't want to have any enemies. You know, I love your channel. I think you're a good dude, and let's just, you know, move on from this. And then the next day we talked on the phone, and he's been a really good friend of mine ever since. Doesn't that happen a lot? Probably more with men. But you get in a fight with somebody. I mean, I've been in fist fights with people that I'm friends with now. But you get in a fight with somebody, and then all of a sudden, you're besties. It happens. But yeah, I've known him long. That's the first person that never had my phone number that was from YouTube or anything like that. Anyway, I digress. You guys know you're going to get stories here because, you know, I need something to talk about when I'm doing this. Hopefully I don't bore you all to death. Oh, so what he ended up doing is we split the difference. So he made, I think it was 7 more, or it was either 6 or 7 more he made for me. And then whatever was missing, no, that's what it was. Whatever was missing, he made half of it and then sent it to me. And that time he had it taped to cardboard. And I was like, yeah, that's the way you do it. Anyway, that was a very long spiel there with a story in between. What is going on, guys? We got some other names in here I haven't seen yet. Let me Bean Becky. Matthew, what's going on? Yeah, we're doing silver. All right, wait, CC. I'm still yet to pour the copper pours I got from you, but I will. What are you talking about? What do you mean? You want to make a copy of the lion? You're doing that for yourself, right? Don't make copies of my pours and sell them, please. I appreciate that. I learned my lesson with shipping tape. Yeah, I think we've all learned our lesson at some point. You can send the tape to the card, yeah. Digging up the dirt, what's going on? How are you doing? Appreciate you stopping in. Well, it's in there. I'm about to open it up. It's a eagle we're gonna make a copy of in silver. It was a pin, something that you would like pin onto your suit, maybe. I don't even know what the hell you pin it onto. Maybe a hat, something like that. I found it at a consignment shop, and I really liked it because I'm a coin guy, and it was holding the bicentennial dates. Oh, by the way, I got a bicentennial silver-proof quarter. That was freaking awesome. Only one, but that was pretty cool. I'll be keeping that one for sure. What was I talking about? Oh, I found this in a consignment shop, and then I took off the the part that you would, you know, pin into your shirt. Man, I saw that pop out and I was like, oh no. It looks like it came out. See, that's what happens when you don't really pack it in good. It likes to fall out. But this is perfect because I can grab that and pull it straight up. As long as everything filled out, we got a little spot right here. See how that popped out right there? I gotta get that back. Just ever so slightly. It happens pretty often whenever you pull stuff out, especially the more details you have, and especially with edges that aren't, when you have things like that going in, and it's such a pain in the butt to get everything right. Like I tried to do that crab. I tried to do this in copper, and so I was using Petra Bond because I didn't want to go through all my Duff clay with copper, and because it's expensive, and doing something through the back because I was going to pour it in. Like I'm doing this one, I'm going to poke a hole right here out, and then that's where I'm going to pour the silver in. Usually I'll come down, but sometimes you got to do it that way. But I was trying to do this. This piece, half of that fell out. Both of these fell out. Something on the edge fell out, and I was like, man, I can't even, there's so much going on, I couldn't even doctor it. And I hammered the crap out of it. Then I rolled it on both sides too, and it just did not work. Now, first of all, and because it's on the pin side, I can just knock it and it should fall right out. So that's good. But there's not a whole lot of clearance there. Like there's literally no clearance. I'll probably knock it in if I do that. But I do want to try, see if it'll fall. Sometimes you can kind of wiggle it a little bit. Wiggle it just a little bit. All right. You know, I wish I had, oh, I do. Got some pliers here. I think that's going to be the best way to do it. Crazy stuff? Crazy stuff? Kudra. I'm just going to call you Kudra. I don't know. Man, I can't pronounce that. And whatever you said, hello. I appreciate you stopping in. I don't know that language, but I appreciate you being here. Brooks Decker says, hit that like button. I appreciate that. Learning was my first sin. 4 out of 20. Didn't make it. Sending them out again today. Oh, gotcha. Yeah, USPS, that's how I ship everything. Kick each other's ass and sit and have a beer. Yeah, it's happened many times. Not many times, but a few times. How long have you been on YouTube? Are you talking to Broke Stacker or me? I've been around for a minute. I've been around since 2020. But I took a break for 2 years and didn't really post much of anything. I was kind of around in channels every now and again, but I wasn't putting any content out. It was good for a story. Appreciate you. Appreciate you, Cartier. Yeah, no problem. Do whatever you want to do for yourself, you know? It's just, it's hard, man. It's hard to find pieces. And I'm trying to do, like, I'm kind of doing things now because I don't really 3D print much anymore. And the ones that I do aren't as good as the ones other people have done. I had a guy, he flaked out on me. So now 3D, I think me and him are going to try to do something. He's got something going on. And then maybe I can print. I don't know. We'll try to figure something out. There's people out there, but everybody's so damn expensive, and I just can't afford it. So, Daryl, what's going on? But yeah, it looks better from the front once I show you. Appreciate you, Daryl. Easy, easy. Not off the top of my head. Okay, wax. Wax it next time. Drop it in a Ziploc. Powder. Shaky, shaky, bam. That could work. I'm going to attempt to pull this straight up and out. Oh, man. You bastard. All right, now we got a doctor before I get it out here. When I pulled it, it twisted, and that was my fault. That was stupid. What the hell are you doing, dude? I might have to start this one over. Damn it. Especially this part right here is going to want to pop out anyway. This is one of those ones where you got all those small places where the silver, or where the piece is, and it's just hard to get the sand in there, especially because I didn't press it down like I normally do. I probably should have. I'm going to move down, move up a little bit, side to side, just a little bit to kind of try to loosen it. This is going to pop out. I know as soon as I go to put this out, it's going to pop right out. That wasn't too bad. We might be able to doctor this up. Oh, that's the piece. It's holding the bicentennial dates, and I'm a coin guy, so I love that. 200-year anniversary eagle. Man, we really did the wrong thing here, but I might be able to save it. Man, this piece right there is... I don't know if this is going to be good or not. When you start pressing down, man, it likes to kind of expand out into the piece a little bit, and that's not what I want, but I think this is actually going to be all right. Only one way to tell. The hard part is getting the wings to fill out because it's such a thin piece. That's why I put that glue on the back to try to thicken that up, because the whole thing was thin like that. And that's how I did it the first time. And even putting the glue in it, it's still not filling out all the way sometimes. So I'm going to start with this small one. I'm going to go to that one. That's what I did last time. This time I'm going to go to this one. And we're just going to have a big old sprue coming in the back. And the reason why I didn't cut this little thing off is because it gives me a perfect hole to go into. It gives me a spot. You know, I want to make sure this is going to work. So let's just start it with that. But I like to do a little bit at a time. And I forgot I clipped this off yesterday, and I didn't sand it back down to make sure it was completely good. These are a little bit long for this. I should probably cut them down. Damn, I just realized that piece. Did I just do that? Or did I not push this down earlier? See, now that I'm pressing on these pieces too, if I press down too far, you're going to get flashing, and then it's a lot of cleanup. So I think we're good. Just underneath that. Sure. Man, this one little spot just looks like it's gonna be weird. So you got a little spot to pour, but I'm gonna carve that out to make it a bigger spot. Hold on for a second, guys. I want to make sure they got these boxes. Yep, they got them. And they left my smoker box for me. I gotta take that to the dump. I was like, man, it'd be nice if they needed a box or something, because it's kind of a big box. And they could just take it. I should have told them, if you need a box, take it. They probably get too many boxes as it is. So now we're gonna dig this thing out a little bit. And then what I like to do is I come through all of this and I make sure that it's flat. Because when you dig it up, you know, not that the sand is going to get down in there. I don't think it will, but I always do that just to make sure. I'll go through everything like this. Smooth all that out. Okay, let's not get hasty here. And my stomach is making all kinds of noises. It's not time to eat. I only eat dinner. It's the only time I eat during the day. Sometimes I might eat after dinner, but I try to only eat within a certain time. Intermittent fasting is what they call it, but I'm trying to do another 3-day fast. I did that last year, and man, did I feel good after that. Man, it's just really hard to do. But the feeling of accomplishment afterwards is pretty awesome. Anybody ever tried to not eat for 3 days? Nothing but water? I don't have a problem making it till dinner. It's the first day that sucks when you go without dinner. That first night is terrible. The second day wasn't really that bad at all. I wasn't even hungry. But the third day, by the time it was dinner time, I was ready to eat. I felt like I was starving by the time I actually ate. So I like to use these because it's sharp. So when I go and I'm moving it around in there, all it's doing is going flat again. You see, I can get a pretty good angle and still have this part be flat and not messing up any of the stuff in there. Trying to make sure we got a good flow going on. And this is like a 1/2 ounce piece, so I don't need a lot of silver. I guess I should have turned the oven on. I put the oven on 200 degrees and I'll pop it in for like 20 minutes. And that gets the mold, kind of gets any of the moisture out of the mold, out of the flask, I mean. So I'll stick it in there open like this. And then when I pull it out, I'll close it and we'll do the pour. So now I need to do a couple little vent lines. That way the gases have somewhere to go. And I used to do these real elaborate vent lines. I don't do that anymore. I just draw a few lines out with an X-Acto knife. It's really all you got to do. It'll find its way out. How do those dates look? I mean, they look good. Hopefully this is going to work out. cleanup process isn't as bad when you just have these tiny little spots also. I'm going to do one here for the face, one here for this tail, maybe one here. And this is the back of the piece, so I'm not really getting into anything. What the hell was that? Was it the cat? And then sometimes I'll come back on the other side and do it too, just to make sure everything is going to be good. Just want to make sure it can breathe. Did I do the face? Yeah. The beak. I think I'm just going to go one there. I barely even got to it. I did the praying hands I did the other day. I went on the back side, and the back side's flat. Like this is kind of indented. The other one is flat. And what I did is I went right up to where I could tell it was and drew a line from that. I didn't even go into the piece. And that even worked pretty good. Anyway. Herman, what's going on? Drill bit. Oh, I forgot. I told him last night, I said, I'm going to steal that from you. I got tons of drill bits. I haven't even looked for drill bits. I have to try to see what's up with that. I'm sure that's going to work great. I got so many drill bits. I've got long drill bits too. Like if I was going through something big. Because I did make a wooden flask at one point. I've never used it, but I definitely have to use Petra Bond if I try to use that thing because it's so damn big. You're going to get a Morgan ring? That's cool. All right, hopefully I'm not missing anything. Talking to the broke. 4-inch pork chop thawing out. 3 rib bone, nice. I did ribs. Saturday I smoked ribs. So good. So good. The only thing I would have did differently is I like barbecue sauce. So I would have put barbecue sauce on them for that last hour. But they don't really like it that way. So I just did it the way the family likes it. And then I just smear it with barbecue sauce afterwards. But I do like to bake it on. I like it to get that caramelization. But, you know, you got to make sacrifices for the family. I did have 2 racks. And I cut them in half. So I had 4 different racks. I probably could have just did one that way. But it was a brand new smoker. And I didn't want to get it all dirty with barbecue sauce. Come to find out, it got pretty dirty anyway. But Broke is back. I learned most of this from watching you. I appreciate that. I appreciate you saying that. There's a lot of people that will watch and not say that. So I do appreciate you. I do appreciate you saying that. Love it when the vent lines work out. But yeah, I used to take a, I have it anywhere. I'll show you what I used to do. I would take this pick and I would press into the piece like that big. And then I would take a toothpick and poke it through. You don't need to do all that. Especially when you put it in the oven and you heat this up beforehand. Everything just flows way better anyway. But Herman, man, Herman yesterday, you were only doing like 1 or 2 vent lines. And everything pulled out for you. As far as I could see. The camera's a little far away, so it's kind of hard to see everything you were doing. But 17 likes, I appreciate that, guys. Appreciate you smashing the like. I'm going to throw this in the oven. And we're going to give this sucker a pour. know if wait a minute, that might be bad. What do you guys want to do? Gas or electric? When it comes to the furnace. Electric's going to take a little bit longer because it's not even fired up yet. The gas, as soon as I fire it up, it'll be ready to go pretty quick. I'll probably just do gas anyway because I'm going to have to heat the other one up. And that way we can just be behind the shed. Sometimes when I'm in the shed, this thing acts a little funny. It's going from the router to the tower that's down the street, and it just, I always lose people when that happens. What is their music coming from? What the hell? I think the dog might have stood on the remote, or I got a ghost. What, you watching TV, buddy? You watch the TV? Where's the remote? Goofy. You goofy boy. You're trying to get me copyrighted. The dog's trying to get me copyrighted. Copyright strike. They stepped on the remote and turned the TV on. Torch. I could torch, actually. I could torch it, but the piece I have a couple sprues, and I think the piece I have, it might be a little bit. I don't torch more than 2 ounces, and it's probably all I need for this piece. Actually, I need to grab that anyway. I'm gonna see how heavy that is. I got a couple Chiwu Chian Wangs. If anybody likes these, stop by tomorrow. Actually, I'd probably just let them go tonight. But I'm going to put a couple of these up, and they're going to end up getting melted if they don't sell. Which I don't want to do because these are premium pieces. There's only 75,000 minted. But I have like 10 of them. And that's 10 ounces, you know? I think 55 is like the cheapest I found one online. And I would go cheaper than that just to get them out in the community. But, you know, I know some people, they'll see things like that and they don't want to pay for the premium. They don't care about the mintage. They're not worried about the collectability of it. They just want to buy silver. So sometimes you can find pieces like that in shops, in an LCS. They might have a piece like that and sell it for cheaper. But it's hard to find, especially when there's only 75,000 of them. But anyway. Yeah, definitely don't want to get it too hot, I'd imagine. That's funny, though. I always think about that. Like last night, I did a pour and did 2 pours, actually. And when I was doing that, before I came and went live last night, I made some dinner for my daughter and we had to use the oven, and that was at 425. So I had to wait for it to cool down just so I could get it to 200, and I got it just in time. It was 180, so it only had to heat up 10 degrees. Anyway, let me grab this silver. Another thing, I've got 5 grams of gold in here, and then this is a gram. That one little ball was a gram. That was when I was I tried to melt it with a torch and it didn't work, so it ended up kind of sticking, and I had to scrape the bottom of it off. It's kind of a pain in the butt. But this I got from a claim, so there's gold in here too. This was 2 grams, I believe. I definitely don't want to mix it. I don't know if I'm ready to do this yet. So I was thinking about maybe adding this to that. And that might be 2.5 grams. The problem is I don't know what the carat is because it's from a claim. They found this, you know, in the dirt. So I can't really, like with this, I can say that's 24 karat. That, not so much. But anyway, look at how big that sprue was. That was from the 2 rifles. But I got this one. I could probably melt that down in the torch with the cup. I just don't know if it's gonna, like, I really want it to be hot. 1.93. That'll definitely work for this piece. But I think I want to put it in the gas furnace because I want to make sure it's nice and hot when I pour it in there. Because I need everything to fill out in this bad boy. I don't need anything to not fill out. I don't know. Kind of on the fence. You know, when you use the torch, sometimes you'll think everything is... I mean, every time I use a torch, I tend to get everything melted. Because I take my time with it. And I swirl it around and I make sure everything's good. Yeah, bro, that's what somebody told me about it, so I tried it and it worked. Because they said you don't need to do those vent lines. I was doing vent lines like 5 to 6 on each piece. And then I was poking it through, you know, all the way through the sand. And sometimes when you pour, then the silver goes out onto the table, which sucks. That's why I always use a pan. And it pulls right off the pan. It doesn't stick or anything. But I got to a place where I was keeping those just closed enough after I poke a toothpick through. And this is a toothpick I ground down, by the way, to make it smaller. And then I would always make sure that the tip, there was just enough so where if the silver got to it, by the time it hit that, it was solidified. But then you always got to clip those off. The cleanup is always a lot more because it's big. And I just, nowadays, I don't have to do that at all. Like with the praying hands I had a couple little spots that I had to file off. And it literally took me 30 seconds. So it definitely helps the cleanup process. Yeah, I don't have a cutting torch. I just have, actually right now I'm using 1 propane and 1 MAP gas. Are you talking about the gold? That's what you're talking about. Makes a silver boil. Damn. You don't have a cutting torch. I got a welder I've never used. Hey, Herman, you want to teach me how to weld? I've never used this damn thing. I know it's probably not that hard to do. Watch a couple YouTube videos. Actually, the guy that works at the coin shop, or not the coin shop, the post office, he welds. And he was going to weld me up this flask because I got metal. I've already cut everything out. I have a perfect big flask, like double the size of the ones that you normally get. And the only problem is with that it doesn't gonna have the lip like that one does. So it's kind of more like the square one that I have. But yeah, I got to do like a copper bar for him. So when he welds, I guess the copper makes something not do something. I don't know. I don't know what the hell he was talking about. I can't remember. But he wants to have some kind of copper bar going across the back whenever he's welding something up against whatever it is that he's welding. For some reason, I guess it makes the weld better. I don't know. I really don't remember. But I was going to do that for him, and he was going to weld the flask up for me. But I just haven't had a whole lot of copper. I feel like that's going to be a pretty big bar. I'm probably going to need like 50 ounces to do something like that. Maybe even more. Yeah, the good thing about Cartier, this is the good thing about welding. You can just, you can just weld the crap out of something and then file that down. Start grinding. Yeah, are you using Petra Bond? Man, I tried to use Petra Bond the other day and it sucked. I can't stand using Petra Bond now that I've went to Duff clay. Herman, your Duff clay looked like it was almost orange. When I was looking at the table, I could have swore that was Petra Bond. That was the color that it was giving off to me. That's why I said, are you using Petra Bond? Using my nemesis? Because I hate that stuff. But, yeah. Tried it and it sucks. It just pulls out too easy. I mean, it's really hard to pack. Like I did this shell I did this in copper. That was in Petra Bond. This actually has a hole in it, though. That's where the sprue came in, and it ended up with a hole. But I'm not going to remelt it for that. I made it a little bit lighter because it was going to be over 5 ounces, but... And then I did this in copper, which I also have in silver. So if anybody wants it, stop by tomorrow. I have both copper and silver. Still got to stamp this, though. I've got to get the stamping soon. And then the alien spawn I have in silver, and I have it in copper as well. I can't believe this thing turned out as good as it did. But yeah, when you pulled out that box and showed the Duff clay, like it was a totally different color than what you had on the table. It almost looked like kind of like orange to me. Not really orange, but you know, just had a very lighter color. And I was thinking about, I know that there's different types of Petra Bond you can get. And I don't know, what do they call it? Is it grit that they call it? You can get different grit. And I was wondering if you can get different types of Duff clay. All the ones I've got, I always get it from Amazon, and it's always the same stuff. So I haven't really came across anything different. But that looked like a way brighter color than what I use, or even what you had on the table. So I was just curious about that. Yeah, you don't have to pack it in as hard either when you use Duff clay. As a matter of fact, if you do pack it in real hard, it's almost impossible to press your piece down into it. It's like really, really hard. I used to try to roll everything, and then I would try to put it into the piece, and that's why I had this freaking stick. So I could put all my weight on it and try to get it into the sand. Such a pain in the butt. That's why I like doing the pieces where you lay it down, put the flask on top, and then do it that way. Trying to push something halfway down into the sand is terrible. That's like the turtle. That's why the turtle's such a hard one. Because, you see, underneath, I have to put some sand down underneath. I'll sit it down, and I'll have sand here already. And then I'll sit the flask on top. I'll put the Petra Bond in there, or the Duff clay in there. Then I'll flip it over. Then I'll take that out. And then I'll have to press down all the way around it, so that it gets even to here. So I'm getting both sides. I'm, getting the legs, so it'll be about right there where it goes. And then put it on top and do it. But man, it's such a tedious process. It takes a while. That's a tough one to do. And it's kind of squishy too. It's like rubbery almost. Not really. It's hard, but it's not as hard as I would like it to be. It's not like plastic. It's like a hard rubber. Yeah, that's what I was thinking too with the burnt, and then you mix it up. Do you do that often? Like try to take any kind of burntness that gets into it and just mix it all up? Sometimes I don't really mix it like I probably should. I just throw it back in the thing and I'll get there eventually. I guess we should go outside. Probably gonna lose you guys, but I don't think I need anything else. Got the silver. I'd like to do some. If anybody wants any of the 1/2 ounce or 1 ounce rounds, I'd like to maybe do a few of those too. Again. Can you hear me? Hear me? Is it working? Is it working now? All right, man. Thanks, Titan. How long was I out? Damn, I was showing y'all crucibles. I don't even know if y'all saw anything that I was just talking about. That's probably why there's only 3 people here at one point. Sorry about that, guys. Every time I come outside, I lose the connection to the Wi-Fi, and it takes a minute. I actually have to get out of it and then come back in. Happen again. Moisture in there. Wearing a t-shirt today. It's pretty nice out. So I'm gonna go ahead and throw this bad boy on. And I always wear a visor, even when I'm inside with the electric furnace, just in case. Something about molten metal on my skin just doesn't sound good. Cartier, I saw him pouring in flip-flops. I was like, man, that's gonna be a hard day if something happens. Should have looked at the time. We're already ready to go. Hopefully it's warmed up enough. Well, you guys are gonna kill me. I forgot to put it in the oven. What a dummy. So I'm gonna turn it off and just kind of let it chill for a minute. If anybody has any questions, feel free to ask. And maybe we'll go in the shed and kind of look at a few things while we wait. I gotta at least let that be in there for 15 minutes. What time is it? It says almost 80 minutes. So about 92, 93 minutes. I'll go grab it. Damn, that was really dumb. Oh, so what I was talking about earlier, that's a good thing I can get back into. So that's the electric furnace I use. By the way, I'm gonna need that outside. I was talking about the crucibles and how I cleaned them up. And the other one that's in there you can't see. But this is what they look like after just using them a few times when you buy the cheap ones. This is one that I poured hundreds of ounces in. It's called a salamander. If you do gas, definitely get the salamanders. They're so much worth it. But they get kind of dirty. Like this was one that was dirty. And I cleaned it up. Now, I'm probably not going to use this one. I retired this one, but I wanted to try to clean it anyway. But you can see down in there how it's all kind of jacked up on the edges. And I just don't want to take a chance, so I don't really use this anymore. But I still try to clean it up just to see. And it did make it look a lot better. But this is the one I use for copper. You can see there's still some copper just stuck down in there. It happens. But yeah, this is probably maybe 10 pours. This one is hundreds. Huge difference. And it's smaller too, which I kind of like. Easier to pour with. And what I started to do is whenever I'm not using these, I put them upside down. I was thinking about starting to take them inside and not let them sit out here in the cold at night and then it warms up during the day. Granted, it's probably not that big a difference, but I don't know if that's bad for them. So I might start just bringing them inside, period. But for now, I just started to put them upside down. That way, nothing can get inside. I don't have to worry about any moisture getting inside of it necessarily. I mean, they're going to collect moisture regardless, but anyway. Shout out to 3D Woodworks for sending this to me. Look at this bad boy. Definitely used that quite a few times. I thought about trying to use it for gold, but I don't have a crucible. I do have one more crucible. So I have two, one for copper, one for silver. And these don't last very long at all. They say 8 hours. And this one I've only used, I think, twice. You can see it's already kind of starting to pit a little bit on the top. But I do have one more brand new one, but I was going to save that for silver. The problem is with those 3 kilogram crucibles is the pour is so long. So trying to do gold and it only being 5 grams, I don't want to go to pour it and it just shoot out past whatever it is I'm trying to go into because it's going to be really small anyway. So I'm just going to use the gas furnace, and I picked up one of these a long time ago for gold. And actually, I don't know if you guys saw when I was showing you this too. I picked up one of these. Still haven't used it yet, but check it out. It's perfect. So I should be able to get something small enough. What I was thinking about maybe doing is using this small one right there. But even that, man, even that's going to be hard to get it in that hole. I don't know. I wish I had a torch. I got 2 matte gases, but that's not going to get hot enough. So, I don't know. Then I thought maybe this one, it's a little bit wider, and I can come right on the edge of it. But it's such a big drop, man. Like, I think no matter what I do, I mean, gold is kind of heavy. Hopefully it'll fall straight down. But I've never done gold before, so I'm really nervous to even try it. And I kind of need the money, so I was thinking about maybe just putting it in the auction as 5 grams a shot. And then just worry about pouring in some gold later. I don't really know what to do. And then I have that claim gold. I have like 2 grams of claim gold. Actually, it might be closer to 3 grams. I think to play it safe, it's probably 2.5, but I'm not positive on that. But yeah, we're just waiting a couple minutes, guys, because I forgot to put the mold into the oven. Like a dumbass. Oh, so 3D, you weren't here earlier. I was talking about earlier, I made a video opening up those quarters. I had 2 rolls of quarters, silver proof quarters. I got 12 that were 1960. So that was cool. I didn't think I was going to get any Washington quarters. And they're pretty nice. One of them's toned, and then I have I think a 65 and a 69 that has some toning. Not crazy or anything, but just a little bit darker than the rest of them. And then 1999, I got the full, all 5 of them. And except for those 1960s, all the rest of them, none of them I got the same one twice. So all the different years from 1999 to 2015, they're all different. No doubles. Some of them I have all 5. Some of them I have 4. I think some I have 3. And then there was one where I only had 1. 2006 maybe, or something like that. But 2015 I have all of them. Some of them though, some of them got some toning on them, and it almost looks like spot toning. Like it's not like the edge got toned up a little bit or the whole thing toned. It's like kind of spotty. And man, I just feel like those might be kind of harder, be a little bit harder to get rid of. I mean, it's still a silver-proof quarter. But yeah, I got to get rid of at least a few of those because it's just money being held up. I paid $1,000 for those 2 rolls. The dumbest shit I've ever done. And then come to find out, when I went to open up the second one, I was short 3. I knew I was going to be short 1 because one of them wasn't silver. It was just a 1970, not even silver. So I was already kind of pissed off about that. Well, come to find out, I was missing 2 on top of that. So I'm short 3. So I'm probably $13 each in on these things. Are you guys still here? I don't see any new comments. I'll make sure you can still hear me. You just woke up, Titan? You can still hear me, right? Hello? Are you there? Man, do I gotta come back out again? What the hell? I just went back into it again. Are we good? You have risen from your coffin? Oh, I have risen from my coffin. Gotcha. Yeah, we're just waiting a couple minutes. I want to make sure that that mold is heated up a little bit. I'll probably take a torch to it too, just to kind of get some hot air down in there. And a lot of people don't do that, so I don't know I necessarily have to, but... And I already had everything melted. I think it only took 5 minutes to melt that silver, and now it's probably hard again. But it would take another 5 minutes to get it going. I hate doing that though. I've never actually had silver melted and then turned it off to turn it back on again. So hopefully I'm not getting anything in there. But I just cleaned the crucible, so it should be all good. Hopefully nothing from the top is gonna fall, because that'll suck. I'm gonna get this thing fired up again, because I really don't want to mess anything up. Damn, I took my gloves inside. I did that copper one the other day. What was it? The shell, and it was on a mold that was sideways. So it was, you know, you open it like this, and I had a hole in the side of it. And when I poured it in, it popped it up a little bit, and I was like, crap, I guess this is all screwed up now. It wasn't screwed up though. It did end up having a hole in the middle of the sprue, but other than that, it turned out pretty decent. Oh yeah, it looks like a nice little button in the bottom of it. Nothing got in there, it's all good. But we're at 88. I was thinking around 90 something minutes when I was live that would be about time. So let's get this back up here. Trying to get to where you guys can see everything, still see the chat. All right, we'll fire this back up. Didn't even need a torch.
Pray for me, guys. We need this thing to turn out. Can't afford to have another piece not fill out. I made that hole big enough, though. We should be good. I'll be right back. Since the bottom of that crack.
I used to put it back in there and let it cool down slowly, but if I leave it on this, it'll stick to it. That thing over there, it doesn't really stick. So let's see what we got going on here. The pour seemed good. Two little pieces. I think we might be good on this one. I think we did it. Lose a lot of dove clay here, but try to save as much of this as possible. I don't want to lose all that. That's good. That's the thing about this piece, man. I lose a lot of duff clay on this bad boy. Yeah, we lost a lot on that one. Try to save as much as I can. Are we good? Man, come on. What is happening? Are we good now? Anybody? Are we good now? It's normal? Man, what the hell? This phone is ridiculous. Got an iPhone 16. I think it's a Plus. Oh, is that the big one? It's not the big one. Anyway, it worked good. I don't know if you saw this when I was outside. Perfecto. I think there's a little bit of dirt right there, but clean it up. But man, the vent lines I put on there, you can't even see not one of them. That worked perfect. Does that look as good as the one you got 3D? Seemed like everything that fell out made its way back in there. It always looks a little bit chunky on the back just because, but see how big I made the sprue this time. It had to get in there. Has some gold. I was thinking about doing some gold at some point, but I don't know. Man, it's already close to 4:15. Yeah, so this, I'm probably going to take this to the saw and just saw it off, make it easy. Because this is kind of thick. When it's the smaller one, like this, I can actually snip it, but this one is going to be hard to snip. No matter what I do, it's going to be a lot of filing. So I'm just going to take it straight to that saw it off. Hopefully I don't hit any wing. But anyway, there's a couple more pours that I have downstairs. Look at this dude. Whoa, we are zoomed like crazy. Look at this dude. Can you speak? Speak? Speak. 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 Yeah. Anyway. So this is some of the pieces I have. Got the alien spawn in silver and copper. We got the Griffin line bar. That's number 7 and number 8 of the praying hands. I did that yesterday, copper. And then we got the peace sign. We got the scarab tablet. It's a tablet on the other side. Got another one of these gavels. And then an arsenal. It seemed like you guys were liking these. And there was some decent bidding on them, so I figured I'd make them again. It doesn't take a whole lot of silver. Now, it is a pretty good amount of time in each one of these, so definitely not going to get your money's worth when it comes to the silver, but you'll get an art piece that you'll like. And so I guess I'm going to try to do something with this. I want to get off this live in a minute just so I can get stuff done because I got a lot to do. But I'll probably try to melt that. I do have a little bit of shot too. So if anybody didn't get one of the 1/2 ounce, I can do number 11 and up. So if anybody wants a 1/2 ounce round, let me know and I'll make 1 or 2. So it'll be 11, 12, 13 and up. If you want a 1 ounce round, and I'm talking about the channel rounds, the CC channel rounds, I think I'm at number 15 with a 1 ounce. So if anybody wants one of those, let me know and I'll try to have that ready by tomorrow. Otherwise, that's about it. And then this one too. This is the newest piece. Hardly any cleanup to do though. I almost want to just saw it off and let it go. Saw the sprue off. I could cut this down the line and then it would stand up like this. But I need that silver anyway. I do have that silver too, so I really can do a couple more things. So anyway, I feel like everybody that wanted the channel rounds got them. The only thing that I have to do is the 1/2 ounce channel rounds toned. I haven't done that yet. So that would start at 1. But I don't know if I have a whole lot of time to do all that. I don't know. What do you think about the lion bar, the Griffin lion bar, and the Geiger alien? I was thinking about antiquing those. And I could probably antique the copper as well, but I've never done that before with copper. So I'm not sure about that. But this one, I actually left the back the way it was when I poured it. Because I thought it looked pretty cool. What's y'all's opinion? Should I clean this up and just make it look shiny like the rest of it? Or leave it like it is? I think the edges ended up perfect on this. I took it to the sander. Pretty good. But that is the Griffin lion bar. I have this in silver as well. The only thing is down here, it didn't turn out perfect, but it's pretty close. And this is a prototype, so. I have all this arsenal, man. I should have did the Glock again. Actually, you know what I was thinking about doing? I haven't done this one in a while. The MP5. I wonder if I should try to knock that one out real quick. Sometime tonight. Or I could do this again. People really like this one. Or if there's anybody that didn't get the poker chip, I could do another poker chip. Or a couple of the praying hand buttons. I just wish those, doing an open sand cast, it always kind of, the details get a little rounded off. You got to really get it out as soon as you can. Leave the back, yeah, that's what I was thinking. I was wondering if I should try to do this gold. I might just let it go the way it is though. And even this, the 5 grams, I kind of need the cash for it. I got bills due. And I don't want to screw it up by trying to melt it down and make something. If it goes somewhere, then I'm going to sit here for, you know, who knows how long trying to get it right. And every time you heat something up, you always lose a little bit. I don't know about gold. I don't know if it works the same as everything else, but I'm pretty sure it probably does. What antique them? Are you talking about the copper? Or the silver? Because the silver I was thinking about antiquing. I still got to stamp everything too, though. By the way, we can kind of at least get that going a little bit. I'll show you something. Buddy, you are right in my way. It's so dirty around here. Might as well throw that on the table too. This bad boy right here, that's what I use for stamping. When you have pieces like that, the Griffin Lion bar, I could probably stamp that just on, like a lot of times I'll just put it on this little rubber block, on a mallet or on a anvil. But a piece like this, what I do is I heat this up with a blow dryer. And then I stick the piece down in it, and then I pull it out, because it's only 100 degrees for it to kind of become like Play-Doh. And then stick it down in there, pull it out so that it can harden, and then stick it back in and stamp it. And I should be able to do the copper and the silver at the same time, because they should be pretty close to the same. But yeah, that's how it's done. My daughter's going to be home in a couple minutes, so I am going to get off here. You have to have a real special blackener for the copper. I thought people use liver or sulfur. No? I've never tried. And I don't want to screw anything up, so the copper is probably going to stay the copper. But I'm trying to not have to melt some of these Chiwu Qian Wangs. Only 75,000 minted of these. These are the 2018s. I don't know, they might end up getting melted. I'm running low. We'll see. Hopefully people will show up tomorrow and we'll have a good auction. I could pay some bills, maybe get some shot. Yeah? The cat said yeah. Cat said hell yeah. In meow form. Okay, I'm definitely not going to try that then. Thank you. Appreciate it. By the way, shout out to 3D Woodworks. Look at his poker chip. He makes coin rings. Anybody needs a coin ring, hit up 3D Woodworks. Whoa, dude. You spilled water everywhere, dummy. Freaking cats. Spill water and freak the dog out. It's okay, buddy. Go over there. I can heat this thing up and throw something in it real quick before she gets home. Trying to be done by 4:30. The problem is I need an extension cord. Can't unplug my freezer or the light. Gotta get this done anyway, so. If anybody's never seen someone use this, there's not actually a whole lot of videos on YouTube. Not for this kind of stuff anyway. I've seen it where they're trying to make like copper cups, and that's how they stamp the outside of the copper cup. They'll stick the cup in it, and I think they even take more of this and put it inside the cup. But so it doesn't roll or anything, they'll stick it in here, stick more of it inside, and then they can stamp it, and then turn it, stamp it, turn it, stamp it, you know, that sort of thing. But yeah, I don't use it for all that. But I'll heat this up real quick. Hello. Have a good day?
See?
Looks like you're a little early. Still live streaming. Ah. Hey. How do you dry swallow pills? That's crazy. I can't even do it when I drink. Like, sometimes I gotta do it a couple times. Give him one of those little bones so he'll go in the other room. Please, thank you. All right, let's get this thing going a little bit. Yeah, it's kind of getting soft. Why is it doing that? I don't remember doing that before. Starting to get kind of that wet look to it. That's when you know it's about ready. Starting to get that wet look. Still not there yet, but we're getting there. Not stamping the tail, so I guess that doesn't necessarily need to be in there. But that's about where I need it to be. It's like really gooey. And you don't want to leave it in there. If you leave it in there, it's a bitch to get out. So now I got to sit and wait a while. I don't know how long. I've never really timed it. Probably half an hour. And then I can come back and stamp this. But I gotta let this dry before I put it back in there. But that's how this thing works. Pretty cool. It's expensive. I think this was like 170 bucks. And it's called a German pitch bowl. And I guess it's like a pine tar kind of thing. Type deal. But yeah, you can get a smaller one, which, by the way, because it's on this, it's not like you can stick things down here and stamp it because it moves. So I really don't get it. I wish it was in something square and didn't move. That'd be better. You might be able to buy those. I would suggest if this is the type of thing you're doing, stamping pores, see if you can find one that's not on this weird ass thing. I mean, you definitely want the bottom to be rubber. It's like a rubber donut. But yeah, you can't really get to the edges because it moves. So everything has to be in the middle anyway. Otherwise, I'd put a bunch of pieces all around it. Now I probably could shore it up somehow and put some things in there and wedge it in so it can't move. I just haven't really done that yet. I guess there's ways around everything, but yeah, I got this on Amazon. This is 8-inch. It's either 7 or 8-inch, and they also sell a 5-inch, but the 5-inch was a little bit small. But you know, for $70, or maybe it was like $80. And then this one was like, unless I'm thinking it was 70, and then it was only like 140 or 150 for this one. I don't know. It's definitely more than $150 though. Let's just say that. But you could get the smaller one if you're not doing anything that's bigger than this, which I usually am not. But it always is nice to have the bigger version of anything. You know, you never know what you might pour in the future. I mean, there might be a time when I do something that big. There might be a time when I do something bigger than this. To be honest, I wouldn't mind trying to do like a sword or something at some point. I think that'd be fun. There's a dude on Instagram that pours swords, and Herman showed one last night too. He has a couple of swords he does. I have a sword, but I haven't poured it yet. This one right here, I don't pour it because it's got that round part to it, and I don't necessarily like that. And I'm not sure what this is from. I think it's from like a movie or something. It's some type of sword. But I didn't want it to be like a medallion. So I was thinking about trying to make this a little bit bigger, because also the lettering in there, it's kind of hard to read. I don't know if you can read it, or maybe it's some kind of gibberish anyway. But I 3D printed this, so I could probably 3D print it again and just make it bigger, and then cut that piece off the round part, and then just have a decent sized little sword. Make it like 4 ounces or something like that. That might be something to come up in the future. Doug, thank you, brother. I appreciate that. You want a copper dragon? I don't have a copper dragon, but I have a copper alien spawn. I'm having an auction tomorrow night, and I did one in copper, but it's an alien spawn, not a dragon. Close. And then I have it in silver as well. This is a number 2, I think. And this is a prototype. First time doing it in copper. Vegas Stacker, what's going on? Appreciate you guys stopping in. This is a German pitch bowl. This is how you stamp. You heat it up with a blow dryer, or you know, a heat gun, but blow dryers work fine. Stick it down in there, pull it out, let it get hard again, and then stick it in and stamp till your heart's content. Because it's kind of weird. If I try to put this on something flat and stamp it, it's very easy for it to move a little bit on you. And when you're stamping, you don't want nothing to move. As a matter of fact, I'll show you one that moved. Where'd it go? So I did a gavel because I like to use a gavel in the stream. And this is the bottom. So kind of goes with it. It's a 2-piece set. Sold. And then at the end of the auction, I'll sell it. But 2.54 ounces, Troy. But look, I shine this one up nice too. Look at the 3.9 stamp. It jumped on me. This camera's making it look way worse than it should be. When you look at it with your eyes, it's not quite as bad. That looks really bad. But yeah, that happened. And I wasn't going to redo it because I got hammered edges on this thing. And the whole thing is hammered flat. It was a round that I poured and I hammered it flat. So I have quite a bit of time in it before I even stamped it or put it in the tumbler. But anyway. Yeah, tomorrow night I'll be having an auction. stop by, come hang out. If nothing else, you just hang out with us. I will be doing a couple giveaways throughout the night. It's always a lot of fun. And the more people bid, the more I'm going to be willing to put things up for giveaway. I don't like to tell people it's only for people that bid, because that's not fair. I like for people to hang out and just be there. I appreciate everybody that comes to hang out even. But I wish I had more stuff right now. I'm trying to give something away just for people that pick up something or bid. Not just, you know, you win a bid is what I'm trying to say. But anyway, 25 likes. I appreciate you guys. I went live last night and it was hard keeping people in here. Today has been kind of hard too. I think YouTube stopped pushing me like they were before. They wanted me to monetize, which they make money off of it too, so you'd think they would keep doing it. But the last couple live streams hasn't been like the other ones. Like, I was getting thousands of views. They were really pushing it. But the past few, it's been like a couple hundred. I don't know. I'm not in the algorithm. Seems like it's doing a little bit better now, though. But I do appreciate you guys hanging out with me. I'll show you the pour I just did. We just did this one earlier. Still got the sprue attached to it, but that was my first silver sand cast I ever did. And I have the original, the prototype. In silver, I kept my first and my second. In copper, I kept my first and my second sand casts ever. And all the rest of them, I don't have. They're all out in the community. But the number 2 with my silver and copper, I might put that up in the auction. I think I put it up in the last auction. But, of course, it's my second piece. It's not going to be cheap, so it's going to have to be somebody that really wants it. Or I'll just hold on to it, you know what I mean? But anyway. Here, I'll show you guys. Let me pop off here. So we got an arsenal. We got the gavel. We got the scarab. That is a tablet on the other side. Nice and shined up. I ran that through the tumbler. It's a pretty cool piece. And then this peace sign, which came off of my daughter's shoe. I forgot what that shoe's called. A croc, and it has holes in it, and then in the holes you can put little designs. That was one of them. I cut the back off where it holds it into the shoe, and then glued it to a copper round that I had, a blank. You can see where the sprue came in there. And it had a hole. I'd usually try to stamp a CC there, but it had a hole, so I didn't want to try that. But that's 1.47 ounces. This one will probably be around half an ounce. And we got some of these pew-pews. They are, none of these are an ounce, I don't think. I don't even think the revolver is an ounce. But then we have the Griffin Lion bar in silver, and then I have it in copper as well. And then yesterday I did a copper shell. Same thing happened with the hole. The sprue came in right there. And when I cut it off, it had a hole. I was like, dang, that's almost 5 ounces. But I do got some gold here. I was thinking about trying to melt down. I just don't know if I have the time to even deal with it right now, to be honest. I got a lot to do by tomorrow. But I got this. This is clean gold, but I'm not sure the purity. This, I know that button was 24 karat, but it kind of got mixed a little bit. But I do have 5 grams. I thought about doing a little 5 gram piece, but I don't know. If anybody's interested in 5 grams a shot, I might just put it up a shot. Then again, man, gold is just so expensive. It's so expensive to buy more. I don't know. But yeah, I'll have some coins and things like that too. Actually, I made a couple of these. Some snakeskin leather and a roll of this laying around. So I made some coin bags. Nothing special. I think next time I'm going to do it a little bit like kind of doubled through here. So you can't like see that part as good. But yeah, I made a couple of those. I might put those up in the auction. And then I had another thing too. Coin box. This might be kind of more for the ladies out there. You put some of your pours or coins in here. It's just something that I colored. I mean, it only cost me like $5. I think it was like a dollar store thing. Not like I'm trying to make a killing off of it. I'd probably put it up for what I paid for it, and you can just get the art. You can get my coloring. I don't even know if I'm going to do it though, because the shipping would probably be $10 just to ship it. So probably not something I'd put up. But I figured I'd show it just in case. If there is somebody that wants it, I will let it go. Anyway. And then we got those. And I have a couple more things downstairs. I really wanted to have more stuff done, but it's tough. I've had, in the past probably 2 weeks, I've had 6 pours not turn out good and I had to redo them. Oh, I didn't show you guys the praying hands. I have number 7 and 8 of the praying hands too. I'm sure you saw it, but got number 7 and number 8. Both of these are about 1.8. This one actually weighs a little bit more, I believe. But that's a popular one. It's number 7 and number 8. And we all know who's going to want 7. There's actually a lot of people that like number 7. But yeah, I'm going to start getting some stuff together. I got a bunch of silver quarters, silver proof quarters that I picked up at a coin show a while back. I made a video of that, opening it up and showing what it is. So when I get off here, I'll probably post that video. You guys can see what I have. Some of them have some kind of weird toning on them and stuff, but if there's anything that you see there that you like, let me know, and I'll make sure that I offer that to you guys. And then other than that, I'm just going to get busy here and try to get some stuff done so we can be ready for tomorrow. But I do appreciate you guys hanging out with me. Thank you, Doug, for the $2 super chat. Oh, I didn't hit the heart in the like. There we go. I do appreciate you, man. It means a lot. You've done that more than anybody, and I do appreciate it. So yeah, kind of sucks that the 1st is Saturday. I really need, like, I'm going to have to try to make sure everybody's like paid up that next day, because I got bills due on the 1st. So I'm kind of cutting it close here. 7, there you are. I was wondering if you were still here or not. 7's usually lurking. All you gotta do is call her name, she'll be there. And I thought about maybe trying to knock out another one of these. You can't even, okay, I can't even hold on to it. You know you're getting old when you bend over and go, ugh. There's a CC on it. Man, it is really hard to see. It's got the backward C and then the other C, kind of the way that I stamp. How I like my designs. So we got that. And that's the poker chip. But I only made 2 of these, I think. I never did make another one. Yep, that's why I made a number 8. Because everything goes in the auctions. I never sell anything outside of the auctions. And I only sell on my auctions in YouTube. So I don't even go to other platforms. But every pour I've ever done goes into the auctions. And I just try to give everybody equal opportunity at them. But I know she was going to want 7, so I made a number 8. Just in case somebody wanted one. And you're not really worried about the number 7. There's still one to get. I figured that's like the best I could do. Kind of keep it fair. And also try to help you out. Because you've been a huge supporter too. 7 Stacks, Doug Harding, 3D Woodworks, all you guys have been huge supporters. Titan, amazing. Without you guys, it'd be a struggle. I mean, it's still kind of a struggle sometimes anyway, but without you guys, I wouldn't be here. I can tell you that. So thank you. Also, if you're looking to get a capital currency pour, I would definitely swing through tomorrow and try to pick one up, because I don't know when the next auction is going to be. It might be a while. I'm not going to have probably a whole lot of time to get into it like I have been, but we'll see what happens. But I'm thinking, I mean, shoot, it's been 2 months since I did my last auction. That was right before Christmas. I can't even believe how time flew like that. But it might have to start being like a quarterly thing where I have an auction like every quarter, like every 3 months or something. Maybe even every 6 months if it's too bad. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens. But yeah, since I have all those other guns, I'm kind of wondering, should I try to do the MP5 tonight? Do another one of those? Anybody interested in that one? I had to glue the handle because the handle was hollow and it looked kind of dumb. So I put glue in the handle. And I did a prototype and that one looked pretty good. So I can do another one of these. This will be a number 1 if I do it. I also have a Glock. Titan, the last time I poured this, Titan picked it up and he made a necklace out of it and gave it to his gun dealer. She was wearing it. It's pretty cool. You can actually go check that out. I have it posted. What is that called? I guess it's just called a post. You do it like a YouTube post. It's a few back, but there's a picture of her wearing it. Or should I do like one of the little button praying hands? Those look good in silver. Oh, I didn't tell you guys. I never said anything about this. I tried to do this, but because it's an open sand cast, it just did not work. I'm going to have to try to either make it thicker and then try to come in from the side. I might get the detail, but it's not a very high resolution there, for lack of a better word. It's something that I really would love to have a pocket piece of. I know a lot of you guys would probably like to carry that in your pocket. But I couldn't get the details to fill out, so I melted it back down. Because it's an open sand cast, and I guess because the oxygen is getting to it, it just stays hot for too long. It doesn't solidify quick enough. And so all the details kind of like wash out sometimes. Like even with the praying hands, and that's a pretty high relief. That's the word I was looking for. They still kind of round off a little bit. So if I pour it, as soon as it solidifies, I got to pull it out of that sand and then throw it into the water. And you can do okay, but it never looks like the actual thing that you're trying to print or copy. Mr. and Mrs. West Tech Stacker, what's going on? How you doing today? Appreciate you stopping in. By the way, we got 10 people here. If there's anybody here that didn't hit the like button, I would appreciate that. It's free. Just double tap the screen. Nothing to it but to do it. If you want, you don't have to. It's a lovely day. It's overcast here. It rained for like 5 minutes earlier. I'm in Maryland. I assume you're in West Texas. Just gonna assume that, you know. Oh, look, it's hearts. Those are always fun. I always do that when I go into live streams. Usually when I pop in, I'll sit there and hit the party, the heart, and just do all kinds of stuff and just keep doing it for a little while. I don't know why it's so fun to tap that thing. This might be hard. Yeah, it's still a little soft. But this is how I stamp. Sorry. So I heat it up with just a regular blow dryer. It has to be 100 degrees for it to kind of get to where it's starting to melt a little bit, where it's malleable, and then I can stick my piece down in it. Then I let it get hard, because if I try to stamp it when it's still kind of soft, it'll be really hard to get the piece out. And sometimes when you pull it out, pieces will be stuck in the piece. And then you got to deal with all that, and it's a pain in the butt. So what I started to do is pull it out and let it harden again, and then I'll stick it in to stamp it. And then because this is the same thing, I should be able to do the copper one too from here. I might have to heat it back up again. It does seem a little bit different. It looks the same. It almost does look like the copper is a little bit smaller. Like maybe it shrinks down a little bit more than silver does. Could be. But yeah, I've got some pours. We got 3/9 fine silver pours, and then I have a few copper pours. I would like to try to do some aluminum at some point. 3D Woodwork sent me some aluminum to try out. I've tried melting down stuff before, and it didn't work all that great. I was trying to do it in the electric furnace though, and then I was also trying to do it with the 1 kilogram Crucible, which never seems to get hot enough, so that could be why. I'm pretty sure if I put it in the gas furnace, it should probably be fine. It should probably work really good. But I do save cans too. But I'm thinking about taking all the cans in and trading it for copper at the recycling place. They told me that they would sell me copper. I just need to make sure it's like good copper. I don't want some alloy stuff. I'd like to try to get 3/9 fine silver or copper if possible. But I don't know if they even do that or have that. I have to see. But I do got something that somebody sent me a while back. I can't say who, but somebody sent me this as a gift. 46 ounces. Look how big that thing is. That person wanted to stay anonymous, so we will keep it that way. Dang. So what's everybody getting into today? Anybody do anything fun tonight? I know most people got work tomorrow, but I'll be up at the butt crack of dawn again trying to get stuff ready for tomorrow. I need to go through coins and things like that and other things that I have and try to look up some prices. Just to kind of see what they are. What is this? 2021s.
They're numerical, they're all in order.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't seen written ones though.
Sweet.
Anyway, for something you want to check out, show, whatever.
Check it out. 28, 29, 30, 31, 32. I just started noticing the 2021 dates. Those are new, but they definitely feel like they don't really have folds in them, but they don't feel flat like they should. Yeah, it's definitely a hunk of copper. I don't even know if it'll fit in my Crucible. I haven't even tried that yet. I was going to do that. That's why it's sitting on the table, because I wanted to see if it would fit in the Crucible. But I feel like it's a little bit too big. I might have to cut it in half. I don't know. I guess I would take a... See, I don't want to use my bandsaw with copper. I only use silver in the bandsaw, because I don't want to mix anything. Granted, I don't think it would make a difference. cutting off a sprue, it'd probably be fine anyway. Because even if it did get a little trace of copper on the cut, I'm going to file that down more anyhow. So I probably shouldn't even worry about that. But that's just how I am. So every time I do a copper piece, I cut the sprue off with a handsaw. Which sucks, by the way. There was a point to this. I don't know. I just talked myself out of whatever the hell whatever my point was. Bandsaw. Oh, fit in the Crucible. So I was thinking maybe I should try to do like a Sawzall, but Sawzall blades are really thick. And that's going to leave a lot of chunk. I want to get a scroll saw. Scroll saw is the best thing. Herman said that he ordered one. That's what I need to get. They use the scroll saw for silver and the bandsaw for copper. I'm just always paranoid about mixing anything. I don't want any copper getting in the silver. I don't really care if silver gets in the copper, but I don't really do anything for that to happen. But that's why I always use different crucibles for everything. For every metal, there's a different crucible. Yeah, they're pushing it a little bit. People are definitely popping through. It gets hard to hold people, though. We got 19 here and 26 likes. That's pretty awesome. Appreciate you guys. If you're popping in and you're new here, I pour silver. What you're looking at is, well, I'm just running my mouth, but what you're looking at is actually a German pitch bowl. So when I stamp my pieces, this is 3/9 fine silver. When I stamp it, I stick it down in there, let this get hard again, and then I'll stamp it so that it doesn't move because it's not flat. If it was flat, I could just put it on an anvil with a rubber. This is what I use. I have this on top of an anvil, and I'll just stamp like rounds and things like that on this, but which gets a little tricky too. And I think that that's why that round bounced on me. Because when I hit that rubber, I don't think it was on the anvil though. No, maybe it was. That's weird. I don't usually have that happen. But when that bounced, but you know what I used to do is I had a wallet, like a leather wallet that I would put on top of that rubber. And that usually made for like a perfect stamp. I think I need to get that wallet and add it to this. I mean, I've done many things without the wallet, but I don't know. It does seem to help a little bit. But anyway, if you're into that sort of thing, copper pours as well. I got a couple copper pieces, a little bit cheaper. But tomorrow I'll be having an auction. I'll post a video showing everything that'll be in the auction. I always have a little bit extra too. But so it's not just pours. There'll be some other things as well. And that'll be tomorrow at 8 o'clock. Unless I make that video and tell you guys 7. Sometimes I start at 7, sometimes I start at 8. But I try to let everybody on the West Coast, you know, get off work and everything. So I feel like starting at 8 is a little bit better. But usually when I have these auctions, I'm going for like 6 to 8 hours. It happens all the time. So tomorrow I'm trying to not do that. Try to get everything knocked out. Get to a certain point and then call it a day, and then maybe come back in a couple of weeks if I can. Otherwise, it might be a while. I have to see what happens. But before I go, because I've got to get to work, I've got to get more stuff done. But I'll show you some of the pieces. I just poured this. It's holding the bicentennial dates, 1776, 1976. So I got to cut the sprue off. That's about a ½ ounce. This is about 1.5 ounces. That was from a Croc shoe. The little peace sign was something that my daughter had in her shoe at one point. And I cut the back off and then glued it to a copper round, a copper blank. And then I have the scarab tablet. Oh, come here. Nice and shined up. A little bit of hieroglyphics on there. But don't ask me what it says. Then this right here is a 2-piece. Sold. So I'm going to use this throughout the night, and at the end of the night, I'll auction it off. So if there's anybody out there that has auctions, there's been quite a few people that have picked this up too. It's just so hard to make. I haven't made one in a while because I get flashing on this one pretty good, and it's really hard to file everything back down to make it look like that. Like that looks really good. And it's a lot of filing. Like it takes like an hour of straight filing to get this back down. And then we got a number 7 and a number 8 praying hands, a couple copper pieces. I got a couple more downstairs too. But the Griffin Lion bar, that's 3/9 fine silver, and that's copper. And then a couple of pew-pews. This is a double barrel shotgun. This is a lever action rifle. This is AK-47, and this is an AR-15, and this is a revolver. And I might even pour some gold. I don't know. I'm still trying to figure that out. I got a couple things I made out of snakeskin leather. I don't know if it's real leather. I don't know what it is. It might be a pleather. Who knows? I had a roll of this laying around for years, and I was like, man, let me make some coin bags out of it. I think it's cool, but we'll see if anybody else does. I did color this little coin box, too. I don't know if that's something I would put up, but if there's anybody that is interested in something like that, and you want to pay for the shipping, I'd send it to you if you pick up some other stuff. I doubt I'm going to try to auction that off. I'd feel kind of weird trying to auction that off. Although that is why I did it at first, but I definitely had second thoughts after. It's pretty cool, the pens, too, man. These, if you're ever trying to color wood, pick up some of these. That's what I used. Fine point watercolor pens. These work great on wood. Or anything for that matter. Oh, you know what? There's something else I did. This is what the original thing that I'd used it for. Can anybody guess what this is? Now, I never ended up making it. I'll give you a hint. That goes there. What do you think that is? And it's not like leather, like real leather. Like it's really soft, so it'd be great for coins. But I guess you'd call this a pleather. It can't be any kind of real leather. I don't think snakeskin has this on the inside. But anyway. Yep, for a hatchet. I made this for a hatchet that I had. And now I can't even find the hatchet. And this is kind of dumb for a hatchet anyway. I made this thing probably 15, 20 years ago. Like, it's been a long time. I never actually finished it. Like, that's what I was thinking about doing at first, was cutting this piece here so that's the same, kind of evening it up a little bit, and then maybe sewing around it and then having an opening here. But that'd be really hard to get all this through that, because you got to do it inside out. You got to sew it like this and then flip it inside out. But yeah, I got a whole roll of that stuff. So if anybody's into something, they need a bag, you want to get like a big bag made, I wouldn't know what to charge you, but I'm sure we could figure it out. I got a whole roll of it. I think originally it was bought to make to put on a motorcycle seat. How heavy is the AK? It's light. It's not even half an ounce, I don't think. Well, it's 0.38 of an ounce. $11.7 grams. It's 11.7 grams. So with that one, you're not even paying for the silver. With that one, you're just paying for the art and the sand cast of it. Especially those rifles aren't even as hard as the other ones. The ones I did yesterday when I was live streaming last night, those suckers are really hard. Those little micro pores are tough. Especially with the filing. I was trying to file on it and I kept bending it because it's so thin. But yeah, I don't think anything weighs an ounce. The Glock used to weigh an ounce. Yeah, even the revolver's only 20 grams. And that's the heavy one. The Glock I used to do, I haven't done one of these in a little while, but this one I think is a little over an ounce, if I'm not mistaken. Pretty sure. I got that at a gun show. It was just sitting on the table. They had a couple of them. And it wasn't even a keychain. It was just this. It wasn't on anything. A lot of times you can find keychains and try to copy, but this was just there. It's a little tricky because it has a hole right there, so you gotta make sure you're not pulling any sand out, but that's a cool one. Titan got the last one from me and made a necklace out of it and gave it to his gunsmith. Maybe not a gunsmith, but I think somebody that sold guns. The gun shop owner, maybe. But yeah, I like the guns. I was looking at trying to do another one of these, but I've had this one sit around for a while a couple times. It's cool, but, or this one, the Dragon Shield. I like this one too. This in silver looks really cool. And if you're into Star Wars, I have this in copper downstairs, and it's thick. I think it weighs 6 ounces. We got the Geiger Alien. I didn't do that one this time. This is Geiger's Alien. And here's another cool one, although I broke the mold, but I glued it back together. The Confederate Rider. I call it the Horse and Rider because, you know, people get all up in arms when they hear Confederate. So I had to glue it. So I don't know, that might show up on the next one. I have to see what happens. Here's another one I've done a few times too. The Lion. Oh, I can make copies of these doubloons I got from Pirate back in the day. Here's another one I was thinking about trying, but it's kind of rubbery. Like, it bends really easy. I wish it was plastic, or I'd definitely do that one. And then speaking of micro, I haven't done this one because it's just so tiny. Like, that probably weighs 8 ounces. I mean, 8 grams, if that. Maybe 6 grams. Very light. Here's a cool one. The Gemini Goddess. If you're not 18, please leave now. You know what's funny is I posted the silver, because I poured this in silver, and it had a little bit of a, I left some of the sprue there so she would stand up. But it's the same thing on both sides. But notice how she's facing this way with her body, and then she's facing this way, so it all lines up. That was something Buffalo Boyan did, and he sold this to me. But I've only made one of them. There's only one prototype, the Gemini Goddess. That's it. That's the only one that's out there. But 7 stacks. You know what's funny? I'm on Clapper. By the way, if you're on Clapper or Instagram or TikTok or Favorited, or I think there's another one I just signed up for. I'm on all those platforms too. But Clapper, ever since I posted the video of this in the short, just showing it and saying thank you for picking it up, you know, kind of thing. Ever since that video, I cannot post. I sent him an email a little while ago, so I need to try to see if I can post now. It let me post at one point, and then I posted one video, tried to do another one, and it wouldn't let me post. Because I try to make shorts of all the pours that I do, and I always wait till after they sell like a dummy. I should be doing it before, saying, hey, this is for the next auction. That's the way I'm going to start doing it. But you know, I like to thank the people for picking up things from me. So I usually try to add your name in there, like, thank you to Seven for picking this up. That's what I said in that video. But just showing people what I do, and then hopefully they'll come by next time, you know. Trying to get my name out there, doing it on all platforms. And that's why when you see the video on YouTube, sometimes you might hear me say, By the way, if you're seeing this from any other platforms, stop on my YouTube channel. That's where you can get, because I'm exclusive to you guys. I always have been exclusive for all my pours. I've never sold one, not even on another site. It's always been on YouTube. This is a German pitch bowl, Broke Stacker. It's really easy. What? You leaving? Okay. Be careful. Love you. So this is a hair dryer, obviously. You can use a heat gun too, but it doesn't need to be that hot. It only has to be 100 degrees. You heat it up so that it gets soft. Right now it's a little bit soft. So yeah, it does take about a half an hour to get hard again. You heat it up and then you stick your mold. Stick it down in there so that it won't move. But don't leave it in there. You got to pull it out. Pull it out, let it get hard, and then stick it in and stamp it. That's the way to do it. You can stick it in there and not let it be down all the way. That actually looks a little cooler, being in there, actually. But, yeah, it's a German pitch bowl. I believe I paid 170 bucks for this. It's not cheap. But they also make a 5 that's a little bit cheaper. So I think this is an 8-inch. And then they make a 5-inch as well. The problem is with both of them, it moves. Like, so if you're trying to stamp something down here and you press down too hard, granted, it's pretty heavy. This bowl is heavy. I'm always nervous it's going to move. So I try to do everything at least here and up. I don't do anything outside of this. So I usually tend to do 1, maybe 2 or 3 if they're small at the same time. So it takes time to stamp everything because you got to let it get hard again after you know, you get it heated up, and then you got to put your next thing in there. And a lot of times before I can put the next thing in, I'll have to heat it up and take my thumb and kind of get it flat again and then put the next thing in there. But yeah, for some reason the copper one doesn't quite fit as good as the that's probably still enough to stamp it though. Definitely got to get on that, get that going by tomorrow. I just like to make sure it's hard. I put something in here one time. I'm trying to remember what piece it was. It might have been this one. When I put it in there, I stamped it, and then when I pulled it out, I had a couple, like there was a couple little spots that were stuck in the skull a little bit. And I was like, man, I'm not using this thing no more. I don't want to have to deal with that. But once I realized that, stick it in, pull it out, let it dry. You don't have to worry about that. So it's just a slow process. But you can get them on Amazon. Doug, probably 8 o'clock, unless I come on at 7. I'll make a video tomorrow showing everybody what I got. Try to show a couple of the other things I might be putting up in the auction. Although, man, I tell you, I'm really running low on things. I've been through pretty much a lot of my stack trying to keep the pouring thing going because I try to have something for everybody. But you know, I've been doing enough to kind of pay for the things I need to pay for, but I haven't been really doing enough to be able to buy more shot and buy more coins and things like that. So I've just been kind of, the past year I've been going through my stack. But you know, that's what it's for. What are you doing, dude? He is always licking his stuff. Why are you always licking your stuff? Like hard licking, like getting himself, you know, doing something for himself. I'm like, man, what are you doing down there, dude? It ain't that serious, bro. He's like, you do it too if you could. Oh, I'm getting goofy now. I'm getting delirious. Also, what I do when I'm stamping is I'll take tape. Just painter's tape. Nothing crazy. For one, I like to tape it down to whatever whatever it is I'm stamping, so that helps. But if I want to have certain things on it and I want it to be straight, like I'll put tape down. And when I go to stamp, I'll try to line it up with the very top of the tape. That way when I go to the next one, I can put it right in the same spot. Because I was really bad at and it also, because you're trying to keep it flat on the line, it doesn't twist at all. I mean, when I first started, I had stamps that were crooked, that were lower or higher. And once I started taping it, things became a lot better. So that's a little inside info about how I do it. By the way, this is probably the heaviest one of the night. It still keeps getting stuck a little bit. Let's see what this weighs. I don't remember. Oh, man. 2.99 ounces Troy. That was on Troy, right? Dang it. I really wish that was 3 ounces. I think the last one I made was 3 ounces. I probably could have left a little bit on the tail. I had to clean the tail up because where I come in is I come in here and here. And then it goes into one. So it comes into one and then it splits. That's how I pour it. And the top of this isn't perfect, like the last one was. But, that's what happens with pours. They're not always perfect. I gotta stop being such a perfectionist. Everybody keeps telling me they like it when it's a little bit different. What do you guys think? Do you like it when you see pours and it has those little imperfections? Do you like that? Or do you like everything to be perfect? I think with most people, you want it to be as perfect as possible. But having those little imperfections here and there does kind of make it unique to all the other ones. And everything I do is pretty unique anyway. Most of my stuff is prototypes and number ones. Praying Hands is up to 8 now, but other than channel rounds, that's the highest I've went up with anything. But I haven't been doing this very long on here either, so. Give it character. Yep, that's what a lot of people say. And I get that, but the perfectionist in me, I'm one of those people, if I'm coloring something, I cannot color out the line. The whole picture is ruined if I color out the line anywhere. You know what I mean? I'm one of those kind of people. A symmetrical type of person too. Letters have to line up. Everything has to be right, or it drives me nuts. Now, I'm not going to say it's OCD or anything, but I might be borderline. I'm starting to sprinkle again. Oh, man, I got to go get that stuff inside. I got stuff outside. Guess we're going to have to end this here. I don't want to end it with all these people here. Hold on, I'll be right back. Stay. Man, that's ridiculous. It's always something. You know, I want to be a weatherman. I want to have the only job where I can be wrong 95% of the time. I checked the weather earlier. When I got up this morning, it wasn't supposed to rain at all. Just overcast all day. Now it's raining pretty good. I even checked it because it started to sprinkle earlier, so I checked the weather again. It said it's just gonna drizzle for like 10 minutes. Nothing about the end of the day. Now all of a sudden it's raining. And it got everything wet. It got my flask wet. I had this sitting open. Look. Freaking weather guy. I totally forgot to scrape that off. It's better to scrape that off when it's hot. It kind of screwed up all around. But the worst part of it is I was trying to save. You see all the burnt sand? I was trying to save some of this good sand down here. And now it's got drizzle on it. How's that country song go? It's always something. Jeez. Jeez Louise, as my late friend used to say. I'm going to tell you all a story. I know some of y'all are here for the stories, and I tell every now and again. But, so I had season tickets to the Washington Capitals, which is kind of why I went with capital currency. Because in 2020, I lost my best friend to a fentanyl overdose, of all things. It really broke my heart. A piece of me died that day. And then I lost my other best friend like a year and a half later. And then in between, lost some family members. Grandmother, grandfather, and my stepdad. So for like a year and a half, it's been rough, man. I kind of went through some hard times over the past couple of years dealing with all that. On top of getting laid off in 2022 at my career of 21 years because the pandemic and all that happened. But anyway, that's not the point of the story. But he passed away, and I always like to tell this story about him because it was so funny. We had season tickets to the Washington Capitals, the hockey team in D.C., and I would get half of the tickets, he would get half of the tickets, and then we would go to a game together. Well, he would be so into the game. Like, I remember we went to a game before I split season tickets with him. He had the season tickets for like 2 years before we started to split them. And I would go to a pretty good amount of games with him. And we went to a playoff game when we lost to the Penguins in Game 7. And I had to talk to this man for an hour and a half out in the parking lot before he could even drive home because he was just so amped up and so pissed off and just like, it was so bad. Like, it's just a game, man. It's just a game. It's not just a game to me. But anyway, diehard fan. And he would be sitting in the seats and something would happen and he would cuss out loud, you know, at whatever's happening. And the people around him, I guess, started to complain about him cussing all the time. You know, sometimes people would bring their kids, you know. And so I would always be on the man, you can't cuss, you can't cuss. And so what he started to do is say things like, sugar honey iced tea. And God dang it. And it just, anything he could do to not cuss. But the sugar honey iced tea was always one of them. And would just say all these, I can't even remember half of them now, but he would do that all the time. And it started to become like pretty damn funny. Like everybody around in the section would start laughing because he would be saying these ridiculous things, trying not to cuss. It was kind of funny. Anyway, I digress. Thanks, bro. Appreciate that. Yeah, it's tough. I lost both of my best friends. I was best man twice in my life, and both of them passed away within a year and a half. But I'm good now. I'm kind of over the whole grief thing. That was a lot of grief to deal with. 5 people out of my top 12 people in life. I thought about that one day. Like, you know, this is 5 people of my probably top 12 people that I know in life. And it was tough, man. I was drinking every day, and I'm proud to say that I'm sober now. I haven't even had a drink in 4 months now. Because I kind of quit for a while, and then I would start drinking a little bit. But back then, when I was dealing with all that, I was drinking a 5th of whiskey and an 18-pack in like 2 days. On top of taking pills for pain. And I was in a really bad place. Depression, grief, all that was just, you know, I'd lost my career. So much going on. And I couldn't deal with it. And slowly but surely, I learned how to deal with things instead of kind of trying to, what's the word, where you just kind of escape, you know? I don't do that anymore. Now I look at things that happen in life as good, even if they're bad. It's good that this bad thing is happening because it's making me stronger. I'm learning how to deal with life as a sober individual. I didn't go to rehab. I didn't see a psychiatrist or therapist or nothing like that. I just did the work at trying to be better. Every day, I get better and better. And I tell you, right now, I feel pretty good. Last night, I went live. I had a lot of fun hanging out with you guys. I even made a comment in that live stream that this is kind of the me when I would have a few drinks and be buzzed up a little bit. And I'm able to do that now and have that feeling without it. And it feels good. But thank you guys, because, you know, you guys have been here on my journey since I came back to YouTube. That's why I wasn't on YouTube for like 2 years, because I was kind of going through some stuff. And when I came back, decided to show you guys the whole pouring process and everything I do with that, and started doing lives and everything. And I talk about it pretty often because I feel like it's important. I think we should talk about stuff like that, because being ashamed of it and hiding from it isn't going to help anybody else. And if I can help one person with my story, I feel like it's good to talk about. My friend, obviously, to be honest, both of my friends were not sober. And it's hard to lose people that way. And I think I had a little bit of survivor's remorse, to be honest. Like, you know, why did they have to die? And how did I not, of all the stuff, all the stupid stuff I've done in my life, how am I even still alive? Like, it's amazing. But, you know, I just try to thank God every day that I am and keep going. I try to live my life for them now. Trying to make them proud. My family and my friends. That's kind of how I try to look at it every day. I take a cold shower every single day. I take a shower in like hot water to clean, and then I blast it on cold, and I sit in it long enough till it doesn't take my breath away, until I'm kind of used to it. And I call that my daily dose of suffering. And if I put myself through that every day, it makes everything else a little bit easier. And I know it sounds dumb, but it really does work. Meditation, prayer, I pray 3, 4, 5 times a day. It's more of a thanks kind of prayer than anything, but I do ask for strength to be the best version of myself today and tomorrow and every day till I die. But that's just a little bit of my backstory and kind of why I took a break for a little while and came back. And you guys have been really supportive since I've been back, and I do appreciate it. I can't say it enough, so thank you. Does mean a lot. But yeah, if there's anybody out there that's struggling, it's not easy. A lot of times it's not easy for people that even go to rehab to get sober. So, you know, if you're struggling and you want to reach out, please feel free. My email is in every video that I've ever posted. I would love to hear your story because, to be honest, it would probably help me stay on my path. Just saying. No pressure. I'm just saying. I'm here. I played the lottery the other day for the first time in a long time. Well, a couple weeks ago. And I was thinking, man, if I won the lottery, I would probably start a rehab facility. Some kind of like nonprofit rehab facility to get people to be able to go to rehab for free or for very cheap. Because it's my understanding it's pretty expensive to go to rehab, especially if you don't have insurance. So a lot of people get stuck. I would love to be able to help out in that way. It's kind of like when I watch a video and I see like somebody that's homeless or struggling or, you know, struggling with, there's people, but you see the videos and they're all hunched over and can not even standing up. They're like almost touching the ground. Like I feel bad for those people. Like I can feel it. Like really hard. And when good things happen to people, like I feel it really hard. Like I'll get tears in my eyes. I don't know if it's because I'm getting older. I mean, I'm 45 now. I don't know if it's because I'm getting older or what, but like I see somebody get blessed and it always brings a tear to my eye. Anyway, I digress. There I go off on a tangent again. How are y'all doing? Hope everybody's having a good day. We're going to have a great weekend. Tomorrow's going to be awesome. Hopefully a lot of people will show up and we'll have a good time. We'll have a good time regardless, but hopefully you can join if you're here now and you want to come hang out. Please do. But it's 5:30. I've been on here for 180 minutes. I am going to have to try to get out of here soon. Yeah, broke. That's a good idea too. If I had the money, I would be doing stuff like that now. Before I got laid off in 2020, this was before COVID hit. I'd come across a homeless guy that was up by my work, and I'd seen him out there a few times. Well, one day it was like 100 degrees outside, and he was sweating bullets, and he had pants on because, I mean, what else are you going to do with your clothes? You know, he had to like wear them. And come to find out, he was like a vet. I don't know if it was true. He could have been lying. Who knows? But he seemed like a good guy, and I felt bad for him. So the first thing I did before I even met him, I got him a couple big bottles of water because it was so hot, and some snacks and things like that. And I pulled up to him, and I was trying to, he was at a light. And the first time I couldn't stop because I would have had to block traffic. So I went past him, turned around, came back, finally got up to him where he could come walk up. And he walked with a limp and everything. And I said, "Hey, man, are you hungry or thirsty?" He said, "Man, I could eat the tires off that truck," because I was driving the truck. And I was like, "Dang, man, well, here you go. I got some snacks for you. I got some water for you, man. It's too hot out here. Take care of yourself. Go get in some shade. You know, don't sit out here trying to get money. Hopefully it's not for alcohol or drugs or anything, but if it's for food, here, let me take care of that and go chill out somewhere." So then I kind of started like what's the word? Like a repertoire? I don't know if that's the right word. But anyway, just talking to him every now and again. And I would take him things, try to pick him up some water and some snacks and things like that. I took him a bunch of canned food one time. I found out, he told me one day, I took him like a big sleeping bag and some other stuff. When I was talking to him, he said that he was sleeping in the woods by this bridge. And so I didn't see him for a while. And finally, I saw a tent in the woods, like a little 2-man tent in the woods. And I was like, that's got to be him. So I pulled over, walked up in the woods. Now, who knows what could have happened that day. I don't know if it was smart or dumb to do that. But I was like, "Hey, buddy." You know, I can't remember what his name was now. "Is somebody in there?" And he was like, yeah. "Oh, I'll be out in a minute." It took him a little while to get out there. But I took him a bunch of canned foods. I was like, what do you need, man? What are you trying to do? He said people were trying to rob him and take his money and stuff like that. And so I went and bought him. I brought a bunch of pallets and drug him down into the woods for him because I felt bad he was sleeping in his little tent. I at least wanted him to be able to make something a little bit more constructed. And so I took him some pallets and went and bought him at Home Depot. I went and bought him some nails and a hammer and a saw and just little things. Took him some 2x4s, like just build something in the woods because he was kind of far enough back. But where he was in the wintertime, I could see him. And he said, "Man, I didn't think when I set this up, it was in the summer. I didn't think people were going to be able to see me." So I don't know. Once I got laid off and we were dealing with COVID, I didn't see him again. But 7 stacks. Thank you. You're awesome. I appreciate that. That's very nice of you. Alice in Silverland, what's going on? How you doing? Yep, that is it's almost 3 ounces, 2.99. I call this, it's 3/9 fine. I call this the Alien Spawn. 7, did you name that too? I think you named that too, didn't you? And then I have one in copper too. I'll be having an auction tomorrow with all my pours and maybe some coins and things like that too. But anyway, thank you, 7 stacks. I do appreciate that. Showing the love. I appreciate it. You always show the love. You really didn't have to do that. 7 stacks is always showing the love. But I do appreciate it. I'm going to say 8 o'clock just to make sure if somebody's out on the West Coast, it's not too early. A lot of times I'll go at 7, but I won't start pours until 8 anyway. But I'll make a video tomorrow kind of showing everything. I got to get some more stuff together tonight and do some stamping and whatnot. It's kind of what I'm in the middle of doing here. But I'm going to do all that after I stop this live stream. But I'll make a video hopefully in the morning. Definitely by like noon. I'll try to have something posted showing you guys what it is with the time. I might even do like a community post as well. And then definitely by 8 o'clock I'll be going. I think it's a little bit better. I don't have quite as much stuff as I normally do, so I might not need to really start at 7 anyhow. I do like to start at 7 sometimes to get on before some of the other people come on at 8 though. But you know what? If you guys want to join me, you'll join me regardless of who else is on. Doing awesome, having a great day. It's Pokemon Day. Bacon, mushrooms, red peppers, sweet onions. That sounds delicious. I haven't eaten nothing yet. I only eat once a day, and it's not that time yet, but it's getting close. I usually eat around 7. From like 7 to 10 is kind of like my window of when I eat. Intermittent fasting. I used to weigh 250. I'm 6'1". I used to weigh 250. Right now I weigh 208. So it is working. I also quit drinking too. I haven't drank a beer in like 4 months. So there is that, over 4 months. That definitely probably helps. Yeah, I saw you guys together. I saw you in your video. I know you were getting into the Pokemon. I never got into Pokemon. I think I have like 2 Pokemon cards because I got them with something. Now, for me, when it comes to cards, hockey is where it's at. I got probably 1 million hockey cards. And some of them are worth some good money, too. But even more than that, because I used to go to the Washington Capitals games, I used to have season tickets. I have a lot of Washington Capitals memorabilia, autographed pucks. I met Alex Ovechkin. He signed my puck on both sides for me, by the way. That's another story I can tell you. He also signed my jersey. And then I met the rest of the team at Six Flags. They do like a special thing for season ticket holders. And they all signed the front, and Ovechkin signed the number 8 on the back. And it's his jersey. But so I got that hanging up. I got a signed stick from, I don't even remember who. I got pucks. I got an Alex Ovechkin puck that he scored with. That's going to be worth a lot of money because he is real close. He might even do it this year. I think he only needs 17 goals to pass Wayne Gretzky. Something like that. I don't remember what it is now, but he's getting really close. All-time goals in the NHL. If you're not into hockey, it is a good time to watch because when he does that, that's going to be awesome. If you can watch a Caps game, I would do it. Whole pound of bacon. I used a pretty good amount of bacon when I was making some. I bought a pack of bacon and cooked all of it. Of course, I did it in the microwave, but I was trying to. What was I doing? I was making baked potatoes, and the family loves to put bacon on top, as do I. But I cooked the whole freaking thing in there. I ended up eating like 5 pieces before I even chopped it all up to put on the potato. That's what I did for Valentine's Day, actually. That's what it was, Valentine's Day, because I got a couple filet mignons. Filet mignon. But yeah, that does sound good. Man, she got the whole recipe going here. I do like me a kebab. I haven't done that in a while. There you go. It's always good to diversify. Yeah, you know, with the hockey cards, for the most part, I only buy, and I haven't really done this in years, but excuse me, I only buy Upper Deck. I'll go buy the packs. It's like $20. You buy like, I don't know how many packs you get nowadays, but, and then I would open the packs. That was one of my first videos, actually. I ended up pulling out of that box, might have been 7 to 10 packs. I pulled the whole starting line for the Washington Capitals. And I posted that video. I got a bunch more. I thought about maybe trying to do some videos like that again. I don't know if anybody would watch it, but I try to be diverse in the videos that I put out too. There's a lot of things I want to get into. I haven't been doing it lately, but I want to start getting into that. Prepping is another thing. I posted a couple shorts, kind of starting to step into the cooking a little bit, because I bought a, well, she did. She bought a smoker and a Blackstone. So I got a Blackstone. It's sitting in my kitchen because I haven't seasoned it yet, and I don't want to put it outside because I don't want it to rust. Even though it has a cover, I just, I'll get there. But yeah, I made a video kind of putting it together, and then I want to season it, and so I was going to post a video about that too. And then I did ribs, but I did a video talking about the ribs and then showed the ribs. I didn't really tell anybody how I cooked the ribs. It was just a couple short videos, but I would like to get into stuff like that. Crabs, I definitely want to post a crab video. I'm really good at cooking crabs. But prepping, I got so many things I've prepped over the years, like solar powered generators and water filtration and just all kinds of stuff. You name it. I would love to get into some of that. I know a lot of stackers are also preppers. All right, Seven. It was good to hang out with you. I'm probably going to get off here in a minute anyway. Trailer Park Boys. I remember that show. I've watched it a few times. I can't say I watched it when it came out. This was kind of maybe a year ago. I came across it and watched a few. There's a show that was kind of, I don't know if it was the same people that did that show. Something had to do with it, but it was about hockey. And they were on this like hockey team that wasn't an NHL team. It was like a city team or whatever. But they were up in Canada, I believe. Or no, maybe it was Minnesota or something like that. But that was a pretty funny show. They used to do some off-the-wall stuff, which kind of reminded me of that show a little bit. I think I kind of found both of those around the same time. All right, bro. I appreciate you hanging out. Yeah, I'm getting close to 200 minutes now, so I'm going to end up getting off here. But I appreciate you guys. We got 27 likes. By the way, if you're here and you didn't hit the like button, just double tap the screen. It's easy and free, and I would appreciate if you did it. So thank you in advance, if you want. No pressure. Just saying. Yeah, Alex Ovechkin. Anytime you get an Alex Ovechkin card, it's worth at least $8 usually. And then getting the whole starting line too, I was pretty excited about that. I don't know if that'll ever happen again. Of course, now it's all different players, but I've been a fan of hockey for a while. I used to watch it when I was a kid. I'm 45. I used to watch it with my grandmother that passed away in 2020. I used to watch them with her. And then sometimes I would even watch the game again. I was so into it because it would come back on at like 1 o'clock, and I always wanted to stay up late. So sometimes I would end up watching the game a second time, back before there was the internet and all that stuff. But then I got out of it for a while, and me and him actually lived together. My friend that passed away, me and him we would split season tickets. But before that, we lived together for a while in my early 20s. And he always wanted to watch hockey, and I was like, man, I don't want to watch hockey. Come on, let's watch something else. Hockey sucks, I was just kind of over it at that point. But then he took me to a game, and it was a Game 7 against the Penguins, and it was an amazing game. Or no, it was a Game 7 against somebody else. And I think we won, and we went to the next round. The place was electrifying. I was like, man, I got to do this again. The next year, he took me to the Penguins game, Game 7 that we lost, and that was a debacle because he was all upset. But it was a good time either way. It's always a good time going to a playoff game. It's just so expensive to do anything now. My daughter wants to go to concerts that are like $700. I'm like, there's no way. I remember paying $20 to go see a concert. $700 to not even have a good seat? What? There is no way. She got Taylor Swift tickets. And the very next day, she could have sold each one for like $1,500. Of course, she wanted to see her so bad. That's her favorite artist. But anyway, I digress. Things are just too expensive. Everything is too expensive. That's why if anybody, you know, Kid Rock is, he's about to do some shows. And he's about to get it in. He's about to be talking with Trump about trying to make some regulation against Ticketmaster and all these other places that try to overcharge for everything. So that'll be cool. We'll see what happens. Maybe ticket prices will come down a little bit. But yeah, it's quite a few $100s just to go see a hockey game. Because of course 2018 the Caps, and that was right before my friend passed away. So I'm glad he got to see them finally win the cup. And then I think it must have been a year and a half later he passed away. All right, Alice. Bart, what's going on? Appreciate you stopping in. Yeah, this is it's a German pitch bowl, if that's what you're talking about. It is it's kind of like pine tar. And you take a heat gun, in my case, a blow dryer, because it only needs to be 100 degrees. And you get it warm, and then you can press in it. And so then, when it's kind of malleable, you put your piece in there. And then before it dries, because if it dries and you stamp it, sometimes it'll get stuck when you try to pull it out. First of all, it's really hard to get it out. And then sometimes it'll pull some of this pitch out with it. And that's not what I want to do, because it's a pain to clean off. So once I get the design in there, I'll take it out, let it get hard again, and then I'll stamp it. But yeah, that's something you can buy on Amazon. Comes with this little rubber thing. It's a pretty thick bowl too. It's heavy, but it does push a little bit. That's why I don't like doing anything over to the edge. But yeah, I'm about to stamp everything, get ready for the auction tomorrow. I'll be on at 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. All the pieces that I have will be up for sale. And then probably some coins and some other stuff too. That'll be 8 o'clock tomorrow. I'll post a video tomorrow letting you guys know. I'm going to post a video when I get off here too of a bunch of quarters I just got. And if anybody wants any proof silver quarters, if you're looking for a certain one, I have 2 rolls that I just opened up and kind of went through it and showed on camera like what I had. Because I bought 2 rolls at a coin show and just wanted to show what I ended up getting. So I'm going to post that soon. I might have to edit it a little bit, but I'll try to get that done at some point tonight. That way you can go watch it, and if there's one that you want, you can let me know. But yeah, other than that, I guess I'm going to be getting off here. I hate getting off here when there's like 20 people in here, but I've got to get to work. And my phone is about to die anyway. I just noticed that. But thank you to 7 Stacks for the $5 super chat. And thank you to, where am I having a brain fart? Doug. Almost got back up to it. Then I remembered. Thank you to Doug for the $2 super chat. I appreciate you guys. It means the world to me. Thank you to 29 of you for hitting the like button. I appreciate that. By the way, before I go, if you want to get me to 30, that'd be pretty cool. There's got to be somebody that didn't hit the like button. Come on, you know you want to do it. Just tap it. Just tap, tap, tappity, tap, tap. Just tap it in. Tap it in. What movie is that from? Tap, tap, tap. Somebody knows what movie that's from. Thank you. We got to 30. That's awesome. Name that movie. Tap, tap, tap. Just tap it in. Tap it in. I'll give you a hint. Happy? What's up, girl? Meow. Happy Gilmore. That was the movie. Anyway, I'm going to get off here. We're losing people anyhow. People are like, man, this dude sucks. So I'm going to get off here. I'm kind of running out of things to talk about. But it's always a pleasure hanging out with you guys. Wow, we are almost at 200 minutes in about 5 seconds. So that's cool. But yeah, stop by tomorrow at 8 o'clock. I'm also live every Thursday at 2:30 to 3, usually 2:30, doing live pouring. So yeah, Hey, let me show you before I go. This was what we poured today. This was my first silver sand cast I ever did. It's the eagle holding the bicentennial dates, 1776, 1976. So I'm going to clean this up tonight, have this ready for the auction tomorrow. And then I guess before I go, if there's any new people in here, I will show you guys some of the other stuff, and then I'm going to get off here. We got the praying hands number 7. That's the praying hands number 8. I have the Griffin Lion bar in silver. This is 3.39 ounces, Troy. This is number 2. This is a prototype. First time trying the copper. I still got to stamp it. I left the back the way that it was. I cleaned the front of it and the edges, but it looked cool, so I left it. Then I got this. That's copper. That's about 5 ounces. Then this piece I made. This is actually 2 pieces that I glued together and made something cool out of it. That is almost 1.5 ounces. Then we got the scarab. I don't even know what this weighs. It's at least an ounce. I think this is about 1.5 ounces too. 1.24. Then right here, I have the gavel. Sold. I'll be using that throughout the night tomorrow, and then at the end of the night, I will auction this off. So if anybody wants one. Then we have the pew-pews. This is a number 2 or 3. I got to look it up. Revolver. I still got to write COAs up for everything too. Double barrel shotgun, lever action rifle, AK-47, and AR-15. And then I have a couple pieces downstairs. I also made a couple coin bags out of some leather snakeskin stuff that I found. So obviously it must be a pleather. I really don't know what it is. I just thought it'd be cool to make some coin bags out of it. So those will be available if you want to stop by. I also have coins. There's a couple coins there, a couple Chiwu, Chian Wangs, and other stuff. I'll always have some kind of other stuff going on. So if you're not into pours, there'll be something there for you. A bunch of silver-proof quarters I just unboxed. So pretty much everything's up for grabs, you know. And then I have the thing we were just looking at with the alien spawn and copper and 3/9 fine silver. So yeah, I have some gold here too. I was thinking about doing a gold pour, but I don't know if I'm gonna have time to do all that. If anybody's looking for shot, I might just sell this as 5 grams a shot because I could use the dough. I'd like to sell that and get some more silver. But anyway, it's been a good time hanging out with you guys. Always a pleasure. I appreciate everybody for hanging out. I appreciate the likes. I appreciate the conversation. I appreciate having a place to talk, you know, and just kind of when I start getting into some personal things and sobriety and life and things like that, being able to, you know, talk to people that might not get me, but understand, you know. I don't know. It's a good release for me. That's my point. That's what I'm trying to get to. I'm losing words here, but you know what I'm saying. It always feels good to be able to talk about that sort of thing. And if there's anybody out there struggling, man, reach out. I would love to hear from you. And other than that, I'll be live tomorrow at 8 o'clock. Stop by, and we're going to have a good time. Thank you to 3D Woodworks for always doing what you do. He's a great friend and a huge supporter of the channel. Sent me a furnace a while back, so big shout out to him. 7 Stacks, Doug Harding, Titan, everybody, you know, everybody that comes by and helps support the channel. It truly does mean the world to me, so thank you. And there's many more people. It's too many to start naming, but those are the big ones that have been helping a lot, and I really appreciate it. So shout out to those guys. And with that, like I always say, I appreciate you stopping by. Hopefully I'll see you on the next one. Have a great day.